Hello, everybody. I forgot to add myself to the stream. Welcome to another Saturday night full of mischief and all kinds of fun things. Forgive my energy level if I'm a little low on that because I worked today and it kind of dragged out and kind of blah. But while we're waiting for our tonight's guest from HAMMERTOWN Paranormal Society up in Canada, I'd like to take a moment and remind everybody to like these videos if you will, as well as if you have not already subscribed, follow any of our social media. Please take time to do so because our watch hours and such has been doing tremendous because of everybody that comes here every week that we do this. But our subscriber counts are lacking. So that out of the way, I appreciate you stopping in and just participating. Once again, it's quite interesting to try to hold a conversation with yourself. Hello, Heather. Nice to see you again. I've seen your uncle's already on here making trouble. You probably won't see that. That's on Facebook or on YouTube, and you're on Facebook. We are streaming to 3 platforms. That would be Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, which Twitter is kind of lagging behind. So I don't know how much more I will keep doing so with them, but why not? It was either Twitter or Twitch. I don't know what other stuff I could use or should use. I'd like to bring up the fact that if you are not aware, we are now associated with a business in Warren, Pennsylvania called White King Coffee. And it's a wonderful, wonderful business that you're catching me off guard here. I didn't plan on plugging it today, so I didn't write down the information. I will share the link. Pretty much what the company does, from my understanding, is the owners started up the business because their daughter or their children are visually impaired. So they wanted to kind of find ways to grow and help her on her path with finances and such. And so they started up this business, and they hire people with disabilities to help them package these coffees and such. So I will share the link to their business as soon as I can. If you'd be so kind to go there and check that out, that'd be awesome. So if you guys will be so kind to leave a comment in the chat to let us know you're here, that would be awesome too. So how you been, Heather, Lee? I hope you guys are doing good. I'm not sure if Matt's here or not. He usually pops in sooner or later. Here's the question of the night. Do you think I will ever be comfortable in front of the camera enough to where I could just speak and just be natural and all will be good? Lee, I don't know who would have took down your comment. The only one that has access to that is me that I'm aware of outside of the owners of YouTube, whoever they are. Of course, everybody knows Zuckerberg for Facebook and Dorsey for Twitter. So that's the question of the day is, will I ever become comfortable enough to just be good on here and just not have to have guests on or whatever? And don't get me wrong, I love having guests on because, well, I definitely couldn't talk for 2 hours, that's for sure. that would be crazy to try. Though there are people out there that do that with no issues whatsoever. So like I said, tonight's guest is I think that's a spelling mistake on there. Is from HAMMERTOWN Paranormal Society. up there and our neighbors up there in the north. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. I'm not sure what everybody else is drinking tonight, but I'm drinking peanut butter whiskey with some chocolate syrup in it to try to make it taste like peanut butter cup. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't taste like a peanut butter cup. James, anytime you're ready, give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you on. If you could hear me, I think you could hear me. So glad you can make it too, Matt. Hopefully work wasn't too rough on you today. You ready, James? All righty. Without further ado, let's bring James to the stream. Hello, James. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. How you doing today, my friend?
Oh, not too bad.
Nice.
Just glad work's over.
What's that?
I'm just glad work's over.
No, well, I recommend most people work sober. I mean, I'm sure there's a few professions out there where you don't need to, but I recommend it in most cases. I know they recommend.
I said work is over. Thank God.
I got alcohol on my mind. Working over. Yeah, that's good too. Nothing wrong with that. So you said you're going to have to watch the time tonight because you work early in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to switch that because follow is not spelled that way if I'm correct, right?
Nope.
That's what happens when you're in
follow.
Oh boy. That's what happens when you're quickly trying to put things together on a last minute whim.
Yeah.
So you've been watching
that's what happens when you come from Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm originally from New York, so is that a little better?
A little better.
But you've been following us for a couple weeks now, and you actually agreed to be on this show, which is kind of amazing that anybody would choose to punish themselves for knowledge.
Well, so far I haven't had any real problems.
Nice. Hello, Doug. I sent you a link on your message. If you look up on your Facebook messaging, that's the Doug you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Can you see the chat?
Hold on a second.
I sent him a link. Can you see the chat?
No, I can't see any chat.
You can't see the chat?
No, I can't see any words coming up at all.
Huh. See, that's unfortunately that I'm not on your side of the screen. My setup looks totally different. So it should be on the left side of your screen. No, on your right side of your screen. You'll see comments and such. Click on that if you see that.
Oh, there I am.
And then you should be able to that way you could kind of keep up with the chat a little bit.
Yeah.
So how's the weather up that way?
Oh, it's beautiful out here. We're getting a little bit of rain here and there, but I'm still enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, we needed the rain here. We got tons of rain. And so I'm going to bring James on as soon as he gives me a thumbs up, or Doug. One of you guys. I'm going to bring one of you guys on. Once Doug gives me a thumb up, he's ready to come on. Why don't you take a moment while I bring him on to tell the folks who you are and which team you're representing tonight.
Who, me?
Yes, please.
Okay. My name is James Wharrie from HAMMERTOWN Paranormal. We've started the group about 4 years ago. And before that, we were working with a bunch of littler groups. And me and Matt tried to break out. There's Doug.
Go ahead, you're doing just fine.
Yeah.
Group. And hello, Doug.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Just another fun night.
Absolutely.
So
Saturday.
Yeah, it's the week I work. So.
Oh, damn.
No, it's not that big of a deal. I actually get to sleep in on my Saturdays I work. Normally,
nice.
I had to work at 3:30 in the morning, and on Saturdays I get to go in around 8:30. So about 5 hours extra sleep, 4 hours. So
I wish I was that lucky.
So for those that are wondering what's going on here, I was speaking with James today, and he asked me if he was able to bring in Doug from Paradigm Investigations. Did I say that correct?
That's right, Paradigm.
And I guess he figures safety in numbers.
That's it. I need
Absolutely,
some backup.
you can't go wrong with that.
So, and this is a pretty late.
How's it going, James? First, I just want to say hi to James because usually we talk like this and not like this. So it's nice to actually speak.
See your face.
That happened to us a couple weeks ago with me personally with a Wisconsin group, where we talked for many years on the keyboard, but never voice or in person or on camera. And so it's kind of a nice feeling when you finally get to meet like that.
Yeah. It's always been
a lot better
over Messenger that we've talked.
Yeah.
So if you'll take a moment, Doug, and kind of explain who you are.
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of, I guess you'd call a noob in any environment. I'm kind of a new guy. Paradigm just started maybe a little bit over 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. When I first started getting into it, I had a group. We did quite a few investigations and whatnot too as well. Developed a YouTube channel and all that stuff. And then, of course, as everybody has it too as well, COVID hit, and I don't have a group anymore. But I'm solo. I'm doing a lot of solo stuff this year, which should be interesting because I haven't done a whole lot of solo investigations. Especially in some of the places that I'm going, which is going to be interesting. But so I'm just learning, seeing what everybody has to say for advice and doing my thing.
Now, you're saying, obviously, you just answered one of the questions I generally ask. You're on your own at the moment. Now,
that's right.
James, how many is in your group, if you don't mind me asking?
There's 4 of us. 4 regular people. That's Nadia, my daughter. She's 26. Yeah, I think so. And
she ain't watching, is she?
Hopefully the age is lower, not higher.
Right.
No, it's higher, I think. And then her friend, Alicia. They're both about the same age. They've known each other since grade 6 or 7. They've been friends for years. And I started out teaching Nadia when she was barely able to crawl.
Nice.
And
now, are you planning on keeping it or are you looking to add on?
We haven't quite decided yet. We're just trying to see if we can, how much work we get to find and stuff like that. So
no doubt.
That's the big question.
Well, you got time. It's not like it's something that has to be decided tonight. There's no gotcha questions on here that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Now, there's Matt Witters. He's a friend that I met on here through a couple of groups that I was working with, and we started doing things together. And then it was pretty much that's it. But Nadia, it was funny when my daughter was a baby. She was only like 6 months old. We were at my parents' house, and my parents' house has an old lady ghost in there, and it loves kids.
Yeah.
And every time in the morning, Natty would wake up fussing. All of a sudden, she'd just start laughing like she was being tickled. So, I always told my wife that it was just the ghost. Don't worry about it. When
Not
she
a
gets
big
tired
deal.
of her, she'll tell us, and that's what usually it was.
So she's had interactions most of her life.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, Doug, you said you're
Yeah.
on your own at the moment. Are you looking for more team members, or?
Right now, no. I think I'm gonna. I got a lot of potential places coming up, and they're happy with what I've done with them so far, and what I've done with them in the past, and what I have in store for certain investigations. And I'm just gonna wing it solo and see what I can do, because there's a lot of advantages solo as well. I think as well. The only thing I suck at, and I told James before too, I suck at technology sometimes with the whole editing and chopping and making videos and all that crap. But as far as setup and doing things, it's totally fine. So I'm gonna stick with it this year.
I think a lot of people that come to channels like this, and that looks for the entertainment on YouTube or whatnot, isn't so worried about the editing part, just the honesty of it.
I like doing a lot of raw stuff too. Yeah.
That makes a big difference. And line enough, you're not having somebody in the background banging on doors and such. People catch on to that after a while. So line up, you do that, or don't do that. You'll be great. You'll be wonderful. So yeah, I drew a blank on where I was going to go from there. So yeah, that's pretty awesome that you guys are willing to come on and help me out, because that's part of the thing I'm doing with these live streams. Is I'm definitely enjoying the interaction with people, but I'm also, it's helping my watch time and such grow too. So it's helping build up the team I'm part of, help build up our social presence. Because like I was saying before you guys jumped on, right now we're being on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah.
We're streaming at all three platforms at once.
Asking where Doug was located.
Yeah. Can you see the chats over there, Doug?
I see. Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm actually in the east coast of Canada, right along the Atlantic Ocean, actually in the province of New Brunswick. So I'm just on the. I'm about 40 minutes from the Maine border, and I'm in this tiny little spot called Black's Harbor, right down southern New Brunswick, surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. And hey, Joyce. Yeah.
Somebody that knows you personally.
I invited some of my brown nosers, so hopefully they come on too and talk a little bit as well and comment. But I like it in the Atlantic coast. There's a lot of old history, a lot of things to see. Great people too. I mean, friendly people that'll just plug the information to you as well. So I don't have any issues with that. So still, it goes nonstop here all the time. I always have something. Hey, Ryan.
Well, I appreciate you bringing people on. That's definitely awesome. Welcome everybody. Well, glad to have you here with us tonight. Feel free to ask any questions that you'd be thinking about of me, or I'm assuming a lot of you don't know James yet, so feel free to ask him questions as well. And those that don't know Doug, feel free to ask him as well as all of us questions too.
Yeah.
Matt's another person that is on quite a bit with me personally. James has seen him. He jumps on sometimes with me, a lot of times. No worries, wifey's watching.
Yes, that's my wife watching too. And
it's nice.
She always does. God love her.
Make it a family affair.
Yeah,
so,
why not?
Well, that's what I told him.
Does she go on cases with you?
My wife, she hates it.
Yeah, see, we were just talking about that today. Actually, James and I were just talking about that.
Yeah, your spouse.
She can't sit in the room and ask questions to the air.
She'll No, mine will sit with me. She'll watch, horror shows with me because I like horror shows and of course all the ghost shows and stuff. And she likes doing that. She likes watching me do live stuff and
Right.
posts and videos and all that stuff. But she said she would never go with me to any of those places because she just wouldn't have the stomach for it. So she'll just live vicariously through my eyes, I guess.
Nice. Well, not gonna throw you under the bus, since you're here.
Oh, you just had this comment about that.
Well, I'm lucky enough where my significant other goes places with me. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I gotta drag her out of the place before, I'm ready to go. And she's like, no, we still got more to go. Oh boy, she's really throwing you under the bus.
I know, right?
My like the house we own now is my father-in-law's old house. He passed away in the house, and we've seen him numerous times, but she won't let me investigate.
Oh no.
I get that a lot too, and especially family places too. They're like, no, don't bring your shit here, and any gear, nothing. Don't bring that here.
They won't even. That's why you grab a spirit box that looks like a radio with headphones. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to shove something in your pocket, and
start singing, acting like you're singing or something.
Yeah, well, I always do it when she's at work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. I don't know if you're speaking to everybody, but welcome. I don't know if this is somebody that you guys are aware of.
That's my bro. He actually he lives in Montreal right now. He moved to Montreal. He was the duo. So everything you see on our YouTube channel, all the editing and stuff is all him. We did a good group of good chunk of the investigations together too as well. And he helps me with all the tech stuff because I suck. So
now is your YouTube channel the same as your name on Facebook?
Yeah, you can pretty much find it by searching that. We don't have too many videos. I only have about 4 or 5 videos at the moment, but it takes a long damn time to cut something up and put decent effects and stuff up too. A lot of people don't notice that, don't realize that, right?
Or do they care?
Yeah, exactly. They just see that 10-minute clip.
I suck at it.
Yeah.
Now, James, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but there's only one video on it. It's useless.
It's a start.
I was just playing around.
If you've seen some of the channel, some of my first videos, it was just, yeah. But
just
if I didn't need the count on my channel, I probably would delete them. And learning, not suck. That's right, Nick.
Getting there. Getting there.
Now, we had a question on here somewhere. So, did you purposely scare her?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. Yeah, you have to every once in a while. But I can't say anything because my daughters, one's 8 and one's 6, and they love scaring the shit out of me too. So it's just a family thing, I guess. And my brother too. We always scare the crap out of our mom too. So it's just a family friendly thing, I guess.
Well, yeah, no doubt, nothing wrong with that. Now, one thing that Matt likes to ask everybody is, what places would you like to investigate? What, if you had anywhere that you could go to, no money, the object money is not an issue.
I've always wanted to go to a lot of places in the States. New Orleans would be one place I would love to go to.
I'm sorry, what was that?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, the whole state whatsoever.
I have no really
old plantations or something. Yeah.
I want one of those old plantations that have been there for decades.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nice.
Mm.
How about you, Doug?
For me, I'm kind of a history buff, and I like crime, so I like doing a lot of jails and stuff like that too. I've had this drive to. I've been into a lot of jails and investigate a lot of jails. So I think, and I'm a huge, massive collector of information for Alcatraz. So if I had anything, I would love to do Alcatraz.
Now, there's one place, speaking along those lines, that I would personally like to go to would be Lizzie Borden's house.
Yes, I actually contacted them once, and I'd love to. I got the rates and stuff, but I can't afford that right now. So
it's pretty expensive. I haven't looked into it.
Yeah, it's for the whole house. It's a couple grand or something like that.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, they charge a ridiculous price.
Yeah,
it would be really fun to check out, but I agree.
For that price.
You know, funny story though too. My wife and I, we eloped 6 years ago. We got married on Halloween in Salem, Massachusetts.
Nice
And
area.
yeah, and I tried to coax her on our honeymoon because it was only an hour and a bit away to spend the night in Lizzie Borden's, and no way in hell could I convince her to do that.
She's already on there saying no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast.
Yeah,
You
see?
stay the night. It's, as a matter of fact, you could probably pay a little extra to spend the night where she killed her dad or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Why not?
Matt's throwing me under the bus again, saying first video, Scott. All our videos are yeah. No, the first ones I thought were really cool, but I went about it way wrong and just it was horrible.
Well, that's
And
good
this-
though. You
this
got to
is
learn
not
from your
shameless.
mistakes.
What's that?
I said you got to learn from your mistakes too. I mean, a lot of things too that we did, or even I did before we even started this stuff. You're like, oh, that's cool. What a great shot. Great. You look at it, and you're like, that really sucked. I don't know why I thought that was even good.
When you go back and look, yeah, I've been doing this for a while now, and I got close to 75 videos on now, and
Yeah.
I'm just feel like I'm just starting to learn how to do things halfway decent. I wanted to try this real quick just because, I enjoy speaking with other people from different areas and seeing what the differences between the places are and whatnot. Like, I can't imagine what kind of cultural differences you guys might run into.
Yeah.
Where you guys are compared to here. And we're not that far from each other, a few hundred miles in reality.
That's true.
Yeah. We were doing an investigation in Oakville, and the ghost spoke nothing but French. We couldn't understand what he was saying.
Nice.
All the EDPs and the spirit box, everything was all in French.
Did you ever get it translated?
I got some of it translated, and some of it was stop bugging me.
Enough to make you say, okay. Now, speaking of that, do you guys always approach a case in English, or do you try to find a way to do it other ways? Or
I only do English because I only speak English. I don't have any other language. I've grown up in Canada. I was born in Canada, and most of my ancestors are from Scotland. So, and that's a totally different language.
yeah, definitely Gaelic or something like that, isn't it? Yeah. That's what. Doug, you have other means that you use for different languages? He's like, nope, I'm not gonna answer. I'm just gonna pop out of here. See ya. That's my answer to that is I'm gone.
Yeah, I think he had an issue with it.
So yeah, I'm sure he'll pop back in. So we'll bring you into this question. What brought you into the paranormal field? What got you started to do this?
I grew up in a house that was haunted, and like I said, it's a little old lady, and I used to be freaked out when I was a kid, and then I started reading books on paranormal investigation, and I started with just a little tape recorder and my dad's Polaroid camera.
I remember you saying that.
And I've been interested in it all the way through, but I never really did a lot of investigations for personal houses and stuff like that. It was more for the different haunts that are around the little what you want to call it a lot of the stories that are out there. A lot of the stories I found were a bunch of bull.
Really. Now, same question to you, Doug. Welcome back, by the way.
It's kind of good.
I'm going to stop asking questions. He'll just, Doug, if you can still hear this, just speak in whenever you feel like it. But yeah, that's awesome that And so you've been theoretically doing this on your own for over 10 years, right?
Oh, I started in grade 7, and I'm almost 50 now.
So a few
That,
years. So
yeah.
we'll just pretend Doug's not there, and he could just chime in like ask some questions so he doesn't disappear again. Can you hear us, Doug? Hi, Doug. Can you
Hey,
hear us?
Doug.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Now he can.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. See? Keep asking him questions.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
There we go. Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. I had to switch to my mobile phone because for some reason I'm having internet issues because this is like buttfuck nowhere sometimes, and the net goes in and out. So I apologize. I probably can't see any of the comments now, so you'll have to let me know. But
what I'll do is like this. Can you see it when we pop it up like that?
No. But you guys, hopefully you guys can just help me out. Let me know.
We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Matt was
I just found out
asking.
my son's watching. I'm waiting for some comment to come through.
Feel free. The only thing I ask for those that comment, just try to keep it PG because we are on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and that's 3 things that we have to try to keep happy. So Matt was asking what brought you guys into the paranormal. What got you guys started?
Yeah. Is that oh, you're asking me now?
But that's okay.
Kind of missed a little time span there. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. It's kind of complicated, I guess. In a sense, I always had I guess not really a fascination, but a wonder about death and the afterlife. Anyway, yeah, I was always drawn to cemeteries and history and architecture and stuff too. So I was always kind of fascinated about that, and I always wondered about what happened after someone passes, and is there a way that to communicate? And I was always a big fan of actually Houdini as well, and I know he always had a big thing about frauds and seances and mediums and stuff like that too. So that kind of made me a little intrigued about, okay, well, how much of this is real and how much of it is artificial or made up or a scam? So I wanted to kind of do that as well, and it was kind of just in the background. And about, well, it'll be almost 2 years and a couple of months, someone kind of close to me passed away, and it kind of hurt me a little bit, but in the same time, it kind of gave me the drive to start this paranormal group and get it going and give me the push to do it. So I'm kind of doing it basically because of her.
Sorry about their passing.
No, thanks.
But sometimes we do need that little bit of motivation to do what we've been thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Now, to circle back to something that I was saying earlier, I was asking about the different languages, and your brother was talking. You did German at one location.
Yeah.
You guys speak German?
No, but we're from a couple of generations of Air Force brats and whatnot too, as well, from around the way. But I like, one of the things I always talk about, a lot of things that are kind of mainstream paranormal or what's accepted on TV and stuff kind of irks me a little bit and drives me bonkers. And one of the things sometimes is going to a place, and hopefully I don't offend anybody because this is just my own opinion, going someplace, and if there is certain roots or certain things, why not try to? I don't speak the language, but at least I'll try to get a couple phrases or something that I could try to use to maybe get some kind of feedback.
And this is where I was going to go with it. Your brother beat me to the punch. Google Translate does.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest, if you guys haven't used a Google conversation through the Translate, you could have a 2-way conversation.
Yeah.
And it works wonders. And for those of you that are watching and paying attention to us while we're doing this live here, Yeah, just use your phone's Google Translate. There's a two-way conversation, like you're having a conversation with somebody, and if it picks up the voice phenomenon, you could almost have a conversation. Actually, we did that in one location with Latin. The whole night was kind of not a very active night on our investigation, and I always try Latin at least one point in when I'm doing it, and things just started picking up. We started getting word, almost like a conversation started with it.
I agree. There's places like you see places like what was it, like Taps International? I'm sorry again if anybody likes them. I don't like stepping on toes, but I like pointing out things that drive me bonkers. But I think forget what issue or what show they were doing, but they were in like Thailand or something, and they were in Thailand.
That was international. Taps International.
Trying to speak. They were in freaking Thailand. And they were trying to talk English with Spirit Box. They were like, we're getting nothing. It's like, well, yeah, because you're not speaking freaking Thai.
They don't know what the heck you're trying to say. Now, yeah, no doubt. And yeah, it's with what we have available to us now, it's really nothing to get translating.
When I was, I did the one in Oakville, and it was all in French. I was clueless to French. And we didn't have Google back then.
No doubt.
Your Google days.
But this was early 90s here.
If you can't speak the language,
you didn't have one of those spell alphabet things there.
Yeah.
The
CNC. ET used one of them.
No doubt. We're being asked by Christy, what's your go-to equipment?
I barely use any equipment, really. I've used the Spirit Box, and I've used the K2s and stuff like that. Most times, I just use an old cassette tape.
You love that cassette tape, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It still works better than a lot of those digital recorders.
Can you still find tapes for it?
I still have 4 or 5 sitting in my house right now.
Nice.
I made sure I bought lots of them up while I could.
Nice. Yeah, I don't blame you there. Doug, what do you use quite a bit?
Well, I'm kind of in the same area as James. I mean, I do use a lot of equipment like the night vision and the Spirit Box and the K2s and stuff. But really, if I'm doing anything, I enjoy using the Spirit Box and the SLS cams and stuff like that. But I personally just like rolling the audio and taking pictures and the K2 just to see if there's any energy spikes and just talking away, see if I can get responses and using my eyes and ears and seeing if I can't capture anything,
This is one of my co-founders, Lee. He says, "Are we the only ones with proton packs?" That's our secret. We don't.
We're talking about that the other day.
We truly don't have licenses for those, Lee. We're not supposed to be talking about that. But yeah, I don't know. As far as our group goes, we don't. Each of us likes our own thing. There's 8 of us, I believe, that's in the group right now, and
wow, that's a big group.
Yeah, but we work well with each other, believe it or not. Lee, I like the Spirit Box because I like the interactions it has. Where Lee absolutely hates that thing. Like if I were to hand it to him, he'd probably throw it against the wall if he could had the choice. The other thing I like to use is the Boo Buddy.
Oh yeah,
the interactive.
I bought my daughter one of those for her birthday last year.
Nice.
No, it was Christmas last year.
They're nice to have, and I kind of leave it off to its own for like its own private investigation of its own. We just put it in a room with a recorder and just let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. And another, I think that's a lot of things too that I enjoy using. That a lot of people I find not a lot of people, but a lot of people I come across and speak to that don't do it as much is like trigger objects like that, like the Boo Buddy, or we use like a motion sensor. If you pass it near like a store that goes ding dong like
Right,
that,
right.
we get those, and I mean they're just placed everywhere, kind of like that, just for signals, eh?
Definitely. And, it doesn't have to be high tech either. Like
No.
those sensors you're talking about is like about $12 US dollars.
Exactly.
Also, another thing I like to do when there's reports of door handles jiggling or whatever, wiggling, making noise, I tie a bell to it.
Yeah.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
I grabbed the Christmas bells and these little jingles.
Right. It's an audio cue. It costs $1 to have, and and you don't kill yourself buying batteries for it.
Oh my God, that's the worst, eh?
Have you ever tried the talcum powder on the ground?
I have not. I thought about it, but I think of the cleanup.
It's a mess to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, I'm thinking of white streaks all over the floor is what I'm thinking. Unless you bring a sweat jet with you.
They get really pissed if you don't clean it up properly.
Oh, I'm sure. Matt, I believe that's the Google app that you're talking about. There's probably other apps, but I think the easiest one to use would be Google Translate.
Yeah.
And he says we have to be careful using Latin, which I agree. Latin could bring a whole new host of different spirits out, in my opinion.
Yeah. Demons usually like Latin.
Well, you get the older spirits at least. And that night that we used it and we used Latin, we had a group member who had a son. She lived not too far away from where we were investigating, and we were running low on batteries, believe it or not. So her son brought a couple packs over for us, and the son's name is Sinjin. And, kind of a not an average name that you'd hear all the time, I don't think. And believe it or not, it said the name over the Google Translate, the boy's name. So that kind of got her a little creeped out and not too happy about that situation.
So how is this now? Like, I've never tried it that way, using Google Translate to get answers back.
Google Conversation, I think it's called. That's
right.
what
And you actually obtain an answer using that?
We have, yes.
Really? That's cool.
If you try your best to have everybody around you quiet, which sometimes is not always so easy. Yeah, you set it up like, say, you're ordering Chinese at a Chinese restaurant. It just listens like you will be listening for an EVP. If it picks it up, it'll translate it.
Oh man, that's cool. I've never tried it before. I'm gonna have to try it.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I've tried it a few times, and that time I was successful. I believe one other time I was successful where it took a few times saying hello, who was here in the language, but after a couple times it must have caught the attention of whatever, and it started going back and forth with the conversation a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to remember that.
glad you guys heard something new tonight.
Yeah, I always learn something new.
Yeah, this is
nothing wrong with learning.
This is what it said. As Lee said, it said in Latin it said Sinjin left. The boy had left, and then that came across.
Sorry.
We're pretty laid back, relaxed.
I'm on my phone now, so that's all you're gonna hear.
This conversation is coming in quicker than I could keep up with it. Matt says demons like reverse Latin typically, at least in the 3 I've dealt with. And
I've never really dealt with any demons.
No.
We've came across a couple of dark things before.
Yeah.
And of course, I think this is going to be a annual thing now. Is cupcakes? Were you part of that conversation?
Yeah.
Jamie?
She was supposed to send some to Canada, but she never did.
She It was funny. My granddaughter, she likes to bake and such. And she's 6 years old and she bakes cupcakes, cakes, and Lee is generally the one that receives most of that. She likes baking for him. And she said later after we were offline, she's like, "Well, do you think they really want some? Because if they really want some, I'll make them some. But I don't know where they live."
What the heck not? You can't say no to cupcakes. Come on.
Yeah,
Especially
really.
when a young girl, bakes them for you. But yeah, she was really serious about sending some to you guys. So maybe one day just send me your PO box and we'll send some out to y'all.
Yeah.
Matt, forget it. You don't get none, Matt. You never give me pizza, so why should I give you cupcakes?
Yeah, it's got to be an even trade. It's
No
gotta be-
doubt.
Yeah.
Send pizza down there. Might be a little cold by then.
Matt's looking for the UPS tracking number for them. Speaking of which, I doubt if it'll happen, but I decided a new thing with these chats. Every time I go live, I started tonight. There's a couple celebrities I'm going to send the link to and say, hey, feel free to pop on. So you guys might end up with Meatloaf or Jack Osborne or Kane Holder.
Hey, I don't mind.
I mean, you guys wouldn't mind, would you? If I had those guys popped on, you guys wouldn't mind, would you?
No. What do you do on Saturday? Oh, no big deal. We were just chatting and Meatloaf come on and we just, no big deal.
No doubt. Yeah, I just figure if I spam them every time, maybe one day I'll get curious enough to jump in and. But so let's get serious or semi-serious here. Yeah, I had about a million things in my head that I was going to ask, and it just quickly went out. So spirit boxes, how truthful do you think those are?
I haven't quite figured that out myself. I've used them quite a few times, and sometimes you get these crazy answers that are nowhere close to what the question you asked. And other times it's really bang on.
No doubt.
I agree. And I think it depends. Well, we were just talking about this too today, which is I think James and I about which model we prefer as well.
Yeah, I agree with that because I've owned two myself. I own the I won't say original, but the single version. And then I've also owned the dual spirit box, and I don't care for that one as much as I did the older one.
I've seen the dual use, but I just found it too confusing trying to listen to both of them. But like myself, I own the SB7 and I own the S box, and I haven't found any real better between the models, but
just personal use, you don't.
Yeah, it is too, and it depends on how comfortable you are with something and how how you adapt to it, and I think it might even be with where you are too and how you're using it. But me, I'm like the old school. I like the SB7, the original one myself. I like that. I find it's. I don't know. We found a lot of interesting things. We got a lot of interesting feedback. But like you said about being believable or not, it's. I think you can just tell by experience and by doing it over and over again because by asking questions and getting feedback. I mean, if you're going to say what color shirt I have, what color shirt do I have on, and it says Cincinnati or something, then obviously it's not right. But I mean, there's it's kind of hit and miss, but a lot of it is.
But if it calls you out by name,
and
things like that, definitely. Nick says that you guys have a nice SB7 video there that he's editing up.
It's actually pretty cool. There's one case that's kind of close to me. In a sense, in my area, it literally almost happened literally in my backyard, to be honest with you. And it was it's quite a big case in the area. It happened in the 1940s during World War II training here, and a young lady was murdered, and the gentleman was British Air Force, and he was tried, and he was hung just about 30 minutes away. And my brother, I can't speak for him, I guess, but I can speak for me. But I just, in my heart and going through things, I don't really think that he did it. So we've been going through using the SB7, and we got a couple of really intelligent answers. I asked him how old he was when he died, and we get on the spirit box, it says 22. And at the same time, we didn't know how old he really was when he passed, so we went to his gravestone, and he was 22. And another point, we were standing in front of his cell, and I was calling him Tom, because I'm a moron sometimes, and I'm not really formal, and I'm just like, hey Tom, we're in your cell, you know. And in the spirit box it says, and you could tell like an accent too, like a British accent. He says Sergeant, and I was like, what was that? It sounded like he said Sergeant. And the lady who's with us, she was quite versed in the case, and she says he didn't like to be called Tom. He always liked to be referred to as Sergeant.
Nice.
And I thought that was kind of a cool catch, and we got that. We're just kind of cutting that up right now to release it, but it was kind of cool.
I'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that. If when that's up, if you send me just a message saying it's up or whatever, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Lee, if you didn't break your mask on Halloween, I'd probably would ask him to. Kane, he's the guy behind the Jason mask. He's actually got a paranormal group, believe it or not.
Him and didn't he group up with one of the old ex-Leatherfaces too, or something?
Right. There's like 3 or 4 horror icons like that. That's part of his group. I mean, could you imagine that?
That's great. Can you imagine tagging along in that investigation?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, but a little intimidating. There's some pretty big guys, from my understanding.
Yeah.
I'd be like, can I please come over here?
Yeah, I'll just go in the corner. You guys do your thing.
Yeah, right. Matt is asking, how many clients do you two have under your belts and favorite places to investigate? Obviously, you guys don't need the exact number. But
I've only done like personal clients was 3, but I've done a lot of investigations in old just finding places that you hear all these stories that this is happening here, and you go to this train area and they throw things at you. A lot of times I'm not finding much.
it happens even if you're on 50, 60 cases. I mean, you can go to tons of them and not get nothing. And that's frustrating sometimes, but
I know my brother's probably sick of this stupid analogy, but I always tell everybody that when I'm doing investigations, it's like fishing. You know, you'll sit there, cast and cast. You can cast for hours or days sometimes to get nothing, but then you'll just get up in the morning, throw your rod out once, and then boom, you got one, right? And it's just
it's kind of like all day long.
It was funny. We were doing an investigation at a mansion.
Hold on one second. I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead and speak. I got to ask somebody a question real quick.
Go ahead, James.
And all night long, we got very little activity. We had just a few little things. And then we were packing up Command Central, and we're just chatting away, and we're putting all the camera equipment away and all the different boxes and stuff away. And we're just talking about how quiet it was. And then all of a sudden you hear bang in the storeroom. They have a chain link fence cabinet for stuff like this. And you just hear it bang off of it like somebody threw something against it. We go into the room, nothing's in there. Nothing's out of place.
Nah, nice.
It's like, why didn't you do it 10 minutes ago?
Just when you're wrapping up, though, they decide to go kind of like, see ya, bye.
No doubt. I was hearing, I must have a TV on downstairs. Part of my day when I'm on weekends is I listen to paranormal shows and such, and I think I'm hearing a millimeter on a TV show. So I had to ask if there was something on TV. probably Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
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 I do a lot of YouTube videos. Speaking of that, do you guys watch paranormal on YouTube channels, or is that something that you guys are not much into?
I've watched a few of them, and I watch a lot on TV. I've seen almost every paranormal show out there,
Nice.
and some of them I just have to laugh at, and some are quite interesting.
Like Ghost Brothers. I like the show. It's really good,
Yeah,
but they're quite comical.
Good show.
It is a good show. You watch a lot of YouTube, Doug, or?
I do watch a lot of YouTube, but mine's mostly how to cook a kick-ass burger. Usually that's what I'm watching. But other than that, I do watch a lot of stuff on TV. I mean, I know James commented earlier on one of my things about Ghost Adventures, but I do like I do like Ghost Adventures. I do, even though it is what it is. But I find lately that there's
I call them schoolgirls.
Yeah, schoolgirls, and I find there's a couple of shows that go right back to basics again, and I enjoy it. There's one, Kindred Spirits. I don't know if you guys know that.
I enjoy.
Yeah, I like it because they're very basic. They're just right back down to the basic, and I like that.
That's
they use very little equipment, and yeah, and it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
Now, which show was it with Nick Groff? I think his last name is Joff,
Yeah,
or something
it
like
was
that.
Nick Groff and Amy. They were doing Paranormal Lockdown.
That's
And
now there's a place that I plan on going that they've been to, and that's called the Hinsdale House, or the Dandy House. That's not too far from where I live. Matter of fact, if you make your way to the States instead of trying to go to Lizzie Borden's house, I suggest going there. It's in Hinsdale, New York, and they're about, I think I looked it up, for a group of 8, they're like $250.
Oh shit, that's not bad at all.
No, and you get the place to yourself for the night. And the great thing about that is they're using all that money to renovate it and keep it going. They're not just trying to make money and put it in their pockets, which I'm sure they're probably keeping a few bucks, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, well, that's what I found a lot of the shows have gotten to. It's more about the buck. It wasn't about the love of the. Like Ghost Hunters, when it first came out, it was a great show, and then it slowly started. It was just not the same, and then they went off the air, and then now they brought back that the Ghost Hunters with just Steve in it, or not Steve, Jason.
What the hell is that?
Well, they're Grant's Ghost Hunters and Jason's on Ghost.
Ghost Nation.
Ghost Nation. Yeah, Ghost Nation. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, Ghost Nation can be a really good show.
I prefer Grant over Jason, but that's my personal opinion. You guys ever thought about going to Gettysburg?
That's one of my end-all places I want to go before I can't do this anymore.
Well, I imagine you got quite a few years before you have to worry about not being able to do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not quite as old as you yet.
As me? Wow. I think on that note, you're getting muted for a while, my friend. I look older than what I am. Believe it or not, I'm 46.
You're younger than I am?
Yes, sir. If you say you're close to 50. I was born in 70. I was born in 75, so
I was born in 72.
So not too far. It's having all these darn. What's that?
But I still have a brown beard.
Well, I've had my kids put me through the ringer and grandkids now, and oh boy. Anyways, that's enough about me being old and such. But Gettysburg, yeah, I mean, I've been there. It's a pretty cool place. I went there twice now. First time was pre-COVID, and the place was just packed, and you couldn't go anywhere without tripping over a group trying take you ghost hunting and such. You go 3 steps and somebody's trying to grab you. Would you like to go on an investigation? And it's like, no.
Yeah, that's overwhelming.
Now, then I went during the pandemic before things got crazy lockdown and such. And it was kind of actually pleasant because you could walk around. You didn't have all kinds of hassle. You didn't have everybody trying to get you to do stuff. And we ended up in a cemetery, random cemetery, Ellen's house. And we weren't expecting much from it. We just looked it up on Google Maps and it said it was open. We didn't want to get caught for trespassing or something. And we actually got activity there, which was nice.
I've done a couple of graveyards, but I'm not a big fan of that. I find a lot of times I just don't feel right, because most of the people that are there, they're trying to rest. They don't want to be bugging us.
There's different views. There's a lot of people that feel that way. There's other people that feel like most of them are not there anymore, and if they are there, then they're restless spirits.
Yeah.
So I mean, it goes either way.
Yes.
Now, I will go back to Matt's question. Do you guys have a favorite place? Obviously, you're not too fond of cemeteries, so that wouldn't be a favorite place for you to visit.
One of my favorite places in Hamilton is the Customs House.
This is a what?
It's the Customs House. That was. I've always, every time you go in there, you get something. Like I've got pictures of shadow people, and you get knocking, and like you every time you ask them a question, they usually will answer with some way.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a place I'd go to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doug.
But we've had a couple people that bring Ouija boards and stuff like that, and I'm not a big fan of Ouija boards.
Neither am I. My view of Ouija boards is generally it's not a big deal. You get the energy out what you put into it. Yeah. But there is occasions where that's not true. It's not a good thing to have. Doug, where do you like to hang out at?
I think I mentioned before. Well, actually, ironically enough, when you guys mentioned cemeteries, there's one cemetery that I like here. It's one of the largest and one of the most active too, as well. But I go there, try to go there on a Sunday just for a stroll and go through and take pictures and stuff too. But I love, like I said before, old jails. So there's this place down nearby, a few hours away. It's the Dorchester jail. And it's probably a couple hundred years old. Actually, a gentleman from Ontario actually moved here, bought the jail, and so you can actually rent it for the night. You sleep in the cells and whatnot too as well while you do the investigation. And we've been there and investigated probably 8 or 9 times now. And I love that spot. I go there probably at least twice a year if I can, because there's always something. We always get something there.
Nice. Yeah, there's a few spots like that for where we're at. Mostly cemeteries because they're easier for us to get into than other places. Believe it or not, probably the one place that would shock a lot of people is our local mall, which isn't a mall anymore, but they have a lot of activity there. When they were, now it's a strip mall.
Is it the grounds that it's on or what?
Correct. Long history of death on the grounds and darkness, for lack of a better word. It used to be a farm, and the farm owner would get so drunk that he would beat his field hands when he was drunk, to the point where he actually would pay them money when they see him getting too drunk to knock him out and put him in bed.
Jesus.
Yeah. So so there's definitely violence on the.
What a negative.
And then it was bought out, and my timeline might be a little flipped a little bit, but it was bought out by the local psychiatric hospital. There's no records of what they were doing with the land there when they owned it, so who knows?
Yeah.
And, so that could put something on there. And then it was also bought out by a local refinery that's in our backyard. And back in those days, they would let children work there, and there was an orphanage literally out the hill from the place. And so they had kids come down and work, and the place caught on fire, and a couple of them passed away on the grounds.
Jeez.
And there's rumor that they could have died by either the fire itself, and there's talk that they actually got ran over by a fire truck that came pulling onto the property. So
Seriously.
that would I don't know what I would hope for the most out of the two, but
Oh, there's a lot of dark energy, man. There's a lot of dark history through that in that place.
and we definitely gotten kids over the spirit box and such. So Heather, she's still here. Heather, she could contest to that. Was part of our group for a long time, but she moved to Hawaii for a while, and she just recently came back. Now, speaking of spirit box, forgive me for taking a sip. I hooked up my one of our members was a maintenance person that worked there, so we kind of got a little extra fun in the place. When I closed, I hooked the spirit box up to the PA system that ran through the whole building. So we just pumped that full of that white noise for like a half hour or so to help pick it up a little bit. I think that was probably the biggest spirit box session ever.
Oh, you're not kidding. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
One thing I hate about the spirit box, that white noise. Oh,
Yeah,
it ends up giving me a headache if it's too long.
That's what Lee hates a lot about it. So imagine a bunch of like a big old mall with that just blasting through the PA system.
Yeah, just pounding. Yeah.
It led to some interesting nights. Actually, there was a store there. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a department store called Kmart, but
I remember Kmart.
Well, there was one there, and they would always stop us. We do it on Saturday, Friday nights, and some of the workers there kind of knew what we were doing. They'd stop us and say, "You guys were here last night playing around, weren't you?" We'd say, "Yeah, we're not allowed to really say." They're like, "Well, yeah, they've been active in our store all day."
Really?
So we'd always stir things up for them. They really loved us.
Why the heck not, right? At least that's one good way of proof. You can stir things up, and other people see it and experience it, right?
Definitely, because we were able to bring some public investigations into it for charity. So, Spirit Box, once again, it was there were nights where it wasn't all that active, and people were like, really? I paid money for this? And then we'd break out the Spirit Box, and it almost like they seemed to know that we needed that little extra something. They'd say like one of the names of the people there or something, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, yeah.
It takes is that 1/22nd, in a 6 hour period or something. Sometimes just that little blip, right?
Right. Is Annabelle still in the museum? Well, we got a question on
the phone
apps.
apps.
Hold on one
those
second.
Spirit Box phone apps. What do you think of those?
I think they can be manipulated by the people that programmed them. I guess I haven't truly used them, but if I were to use one, I would say if I ever asked a question and it answered me within reason, I'd have more faith in it. Like you were saying earlier, if it brought up Cincinnati when you're asking about the color of your shirt, I probably believe it. So related to if it was related to the question, I'd have more faith in it. We're being asked, is Annabelle still in the museum? Annabelle, I think you're mistaking me for the wrong Warren. I'm assuming that's why you're asking that, and I'm really grateful that you made your way here. But my understanding is, yes, it's still in the museum. I don't think they really take it out for next to nothing. They have it blessed daily and such. But my group, if this is the reason why you found my group, is Warren Area Society of Paranormal. We're in a town in Pennsylvania called a city in Pennsylvania called Warren, Pennsylvania. Our name does pop up a lot when you do a Google search of the Warrens. So, I mean, I guess we're happy for that because it's definitely going to get us.
That's pretty publicity right there. That's a nice little tick in the box.
No doubt. I mean, I can't imagine what kind of we're just not comparable to the Warrens. I strive to be as
half as good as them.
no doubt. But Pablo, I believe that's how you pronounce the name. Welcome. I believe that they're still in the Dallas still there. I believe they're starting to get ready to do tours of the museum again this year. So go online. You should be able to find the information there. And if you go there, send us a message, videotape if they let you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, share away.
Take a picture and see if you can bring her home.
No doubt. Lee, one of our co-founders, years before our group, I knew a woman who worked at Kmart who told me the store was haunted, and they named it Marty. Probably one that every time we'd mess around, we'd get all kinds of. Now, speaking of the mall and the kids and such, what was kind of neat was the place is documented to burn. The refinery did catch on fire, big fire and such, and they had fountains in there. I was a maintenance person at that mall myself at one point, and all of a sudden the one fountain would just be completely full, go out, mow lawn or whatever, come back, and it would be empty. Like
really?
Completely empty. No water around the floor. The planters weren't wet. No sign of where that water could have went. Like hundreds of gallons of water gone in an hour. Just poof, gone. I often wondered if that had something to do with the paranormal side of things.
Yeah, that's right. That's a lot of water to disappear, eh?
With no sign of it. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Being a maintenance man, I'd panic and think, oh my God, I got a big leak somewhere, you know. Start figuring out where this water went to. Got a guess there, James?
Yeah. My daughter let the dog out to go to the bathroom, and our neighbor has a dog too, and they like to talk to each other.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what dogs do.
That's what mine do too. They're a bunch of little dicks when they go outside. It's anything that walks by. It could be a leaf blowing across the yard and they lose their shit. It's
this one here, the leaf blows in front of her. She bites it.
Nothing wrong with it. That's what dogs do. I mean,
no.
But yeah, I'm looking over the comments, guys, seeing if there was anything.
No worries. Oh, one thing I want to say that I mentioned, or I wanted to mention, and I thought it was really awesome that James said it when he first started. He was talking about the house that they own, and even before that, about when his daughter was young. And I always say the same thing to my kids as well. Is I always try to reiterate to them all the time that ghosts are not spirits, and ghosts are not scary. They're not something to be feared. So, there's always the stigma around hauntings and spiritual activity and stuff that, it's always in ghost stories and stuff that people get nervous about. But I always make a point of telling my girls that it's not scary. They're not to be, to be feared and whatnot. If you think you see or hear something, figure out what it is first before you even get scared. A lot of times they just want to communicate with you.
So, do you think society as a whole is wrong for telling kids? Because a lot of kids are told that's not real, that's not true. Do you think they're wrong in doing that?
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. I don't think. I think first of all, I think that everybody has the right to believe and not believe what they want. Number one, and especially you should be able to figure it out yourself. And that's what a lot of times that I do when people say to me, especially about hauntings or places that are active and stuff. Oh, you shouldn't go there. That's crazy. This is bad. That's bad. And it's like, well, I'm going to find out for myself because I want to know. I don't want to hear someone's word for it. I want to find out. And doing this and finding and communicating and whatnot, I try to show that to the kids that it's not something to be feared. It's something that's interesting, and it's actually good to know about it and try. Because if you fear something that you don't know, and you don't even experience it or try to experience it, I just think that's just useless. It's fruitless.
I believe I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
James?
Like when I was in grade school, I did a book report on ghost hunting, and she called it science fiction.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, I hate that. I hate that.
Well,
Yeah, but this is early 80s here.
she's probably thinking, they were probably thinking along the lines of the movie Ghostbusters and such at that time.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of reports and things like that, believe it or not, the little charter school that's like down the street from me for the area that I live in, Tidiute, Pennsylvania. You were talking about living in the middle of nowhere. I'd care to say that my area is probably just about the same. I like to say I'm Tidiute's most famous YouTuber. I mean, we got a population of, say, maybe 600, but
Yeah.
next week it'll be a population of 400. I like to keep lowering it to make myself seem more.
Yeah, you got to raise that. Yeah, you got to raise the bar a little bit too.
Right. So I'm comfortable in saying that I'm Tidiute's most famous YouTuber. So yeah, as I'm saying though, the school down the road, they actually offer classes in ghost hunting and such.
I think that's awesome.
As an elective.
I think that's cool. One thing that I find that a lot of people don't do, and it's not really maybe in the States more, and maybe I don't know where James is too in the larger places, but people don't offer that anymore. And one thing that I try to do and I want to do is educate people, of course, in paranormal and stuff like that too, but educating people in history, just history and past stories and stuff itself. And teaching people how to, just like you said, to use tools and equipment, and even if they don't believe in spirits, you can still use EMF meters and whatnot to figure out what's going on, or anything, or draft detectors, or like you said, thermal imaging and stuff like that, and you can still use those tools and be taught to use those tools to figure out what's going on, regardless if you believe or not.
Right. A lot of times you'll find that in investigations and such, a lot of it's not even paranormal, it's natural occurrences. Now, the thing that get me with the school, my son went down there and took that class. Now, I'm not very well with math and history and science and all that kind of stuff. So the one class that he takes that I probably could excel in, he failed. And he never asked me to help whatsoever.
Really?
I still don't let him live that down.
What the hell?
That's what I said.
Like,
dude, algebra or anything, please don't come with me of that. But ghost hunting? Hello.
you got a project? Just like let me see.
Right. You need something, you need to borrow something, I can help you out with that.
Yeah, exactly.
But only thing he failed out of his graduating year, and it's one thing that
that's karma right there. That's karma. That's a slap in the face.
No doubt. Here's a couple things that was said by Heather. Back when you're talking about kids and such, it says they're just trying to get someone help and get their attention. Yeah, and exactly. She says, "Do not fear it. When you have that fear, say a prayer, let the fear go." So, a couple good words of advice there.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that too is that communication itself, like you said, a lot of times it can be explained. A lot of things that you do hear or see or whatnot, most of it, like you said, can be explained as natural, or maybe it's just a generator or a blower or a pump or something that you hear or see, or reflections. So you really shouldn't fear sounds and noises and lights in the first place until you figure out really what it is. And like she said too, a lot of times, probably, I don't know, I haven't met, knock on wood or plastic, whatever I have here, I haven't met anything really bad or nasty or harmful as of yet. But most of the time, they're just trying to talk. They're trying to communicate. Say, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Talk to me.
Yeah, I agree. I've never run out against where they say on the TV where the ghost picked you up and levitated you out of the bed and stuff like that.
You guys
it's all been just talking.
You guys haven't been physically attacked or your clients in front of you?
No, nothing yet.
Unfortunately, we have.
Yeah.
We actually had one of our first cases. We had a woman sitting in front of the crew. I was not there for that one, but what they reported to me was that they were sitting down for a good 10 minutes with this woman, setting up the equipment and such, and interviewing and such. And the woman started saying that her back was hurting and felt like her back was burning. And she stood up, started to lift up her shirt, and the women, they were, well, let's help you with that so you're not flashing everybody, because she was in a hurry to show what was going on. Yeah. And when they lifted up the back of her shirt, they could see red marks, 3 sets of 3 scratches down her back. Yeah. And they were just red marks. And as they were sitting there, they were welting up in front of them. So that was something.
I haven't been anywhere where somebody was harmed. I mean, I've had clients before that have been hurt or injured, but not witnessing anything myself or being involved in anything like that. But
yeah, that was some of our first pieces. We're blessed in having somebody that's able to help us with that. So we got a hold of him right away and was like, hey, we need to get this taken care of right away. This is not time for investigating. This is time to get rid of whatever. And, we felt like it was mocking the Holy Trinity.
Like, I've worked with a couple of other teams that have had really freaky things happen where they get shoved and stuff like that. But I've never personally seen it.
My personal experience is the place that we were 3 or 4 times beforehand, where we felt safe enough to have teenagers come in and investigate with us, because we literally weren't getting nothing other than maybe a couple K2 hits or something. Yeah. At about 3/4 of the way in, it just like something latched right onto my leg and my knee and just started, like, still to this day I have pain. It felt like something was grinding in it, trying to get me to freak out, I guess. I don't know.
Really? But yeah. Try to get a rise out of you or something, eh?
Right. I'm thinking I was in lead that night, kind of showing and taking charge of the night. And I think they were attacking the one that they would show most, like, hey, this is one in charge. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to take him down a peg and
show the teenagers and all that, get them freaked out and have all kinds of fun. Luckily, I was able to keep myself calm, and I still have pain in that knee today. That night, I was driving a standard vehicle, and I had to call somebody in to, help drive me home because my leg hurt that bad.
Really?
Yeah. So that's probably about the worst that's happened to me.
I can see that, though. I can see them doing that, or somebody trying to say, like, "Hey, you think you're top dog? I'm gonna show you something."
Especially with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, not kids, some people, but
lady, enough.
Younger people.
Younger people. The age challenged.
Yes.
I've had this up on the screen for a couple minutes. It says, I do laugh out loud. I offer training for the general public or paranormal team building. And that's where he gets his name, paranormal consultant, because he works with a little bit of everybody. Mm-hmm. Now Lee, he's having fun with my location where I live. They did sell t-shirts here. Where the hell is Titty Ute, Pennsylvania?
My daughter, Nadia.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Scott, as I think my screen name says. No, none of the names are showing, are they?
No. I wouldn't be surprised if mine's not. I'm technologically,
Here we are. I can't believe I turned that off. And I just realized that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So now everybody knows who you guys are.
Damn it.
They've sold T-shirts saying "Where the hell is Tiddy, Pennsylvania?"
That's awesome.
And of course, for those that don't know, Matt does run a similar show to this one, generally on Friday nights. And he's asking if you guys would be interested in being on his show one of these days. James, you've been on the chat.
Yeah, he's already hit me up a couple times. Yeah.
I plug my show
have a
on
problem.
his, so I can't say nothing about him plugging it on mine.
Hey, you gotta plug away when you can, right?
That's called Paranormal Unity, right? So
Exactly.
I can connect you guys later. James, you've already been connected. As a matter of fact, it'd probably be easier if Doug and James, if you contact him, and I will just kind of step out of that circle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I shared his link on the group calling all Canadian paranormal investigators, because we've been trying to get a lot more people to find out where everybody is in Canada, because we can't seem to buy equipment in Canada. Everybody sells it in the States, but we can never find anybody that wants to sell in Canada.
You can get good equipment, but you have to pay out the ass for shipping.
Yeah,
That's what they,
and you got
that's what James
customs
saying.
fees and everything else. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Which is, I never would have thought that'd be a problem. I mean, like I said, you guys are a few hundred miles away. It just doesn't make sense that it would be an issue.
Like I said, it's the custom fees and everything else.
Yeah, if it wasn't for shipping
Donald
and the
Trump
customs, right?
made it crazy.
So I'm sorry, what's that, Doug?
I said, and if you top on the exchange rate plus the shipping plus the duties and taxes, it ends up sometimes you end up paying double for a piece of equipment.
So there is no stores up there that sell, huh?
Not
No.
too many. Not too many. I mean, they do sell some, but then a lot of times, I think James probably knows already too. But if I find something that I like that's really costly, I try to figure out a way to try to make it or build it if I can, or try to think of a different way, more economical, that you could still function as the way it's supposed to, but maybe it's not maybe the $800 piece of equipment, but it
So
still
what's
does.
stopping you guys from starting a store?
What's that now?
I said, what's stopping you guys from starting a store?
Trying to get the supplies in. That would be the big thing. Because
I sell SOS cams.
We do the SL.
We try to find people that do build it and want to.
Yeah, I build and sell SLS cams.
You're talking about these things?
Yeah. I usually like using the 360s. I've probably bought and sold maybe a couple dozen.
Well, that's what I have from actually owning the original 360 Xbox.
They're fantastic.
I have one laying around. The only thing I don't have is a tablet to do anything that's running off my laptop.
Yeah.
I got a tablet that works off of it, but I found every piece except for a Kinect. I cannot find a Kinect anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. Ontario, you can't find it anywhere.
The guy that builds them on your friends list, you talk to all the time, and you're the one saying that you can't find one.
I keep saying, I said, I'll hit you up. I'll hook you up if you want. I'll fix it. I'll do you right. You can actually build them fairly cheap. Well, of course, you know anything, but even any type of equipment, you can build them for probably about 30% of what they sell them for. But
oh yeah, like I've seen them online built already, and they want $500-$600 for the stupid things.
It's getting crazy price on them. Yeah,
I think it's just the hype, right? That's jacking everything up.
Right. Everybody sees them on Ghost Adventures and such.
Yeah, so they gotta have.
I've never used one personally, but I've seen it, like you said, on Ghost Adventures, and a lot of the other ghost shows are starting to use them more. And
Now, you've seen the video I shared the other week,
Yeah.
did not, James?
when you were getting the ghost in your back corner.
Well, it was like on my shoulder, or one of these darn
Yeah.
shoulders.
That's the devil on your shoulder, man.
No doubt. Well, I put it on TikTok and then I threw it on Facebook. I was just trying to get the programming to work with the Kinect camera. I'm having issues with that, and so I was sitting here watching Matt's show, and I was kind of monkeying around with it, and I started getting hits with the Kinect camera behind me and on my shoulder, and then I wasn't even aware there was one that was Scott's parrot. There was one that was actually I didn't see that was kind of in the backpack.
Yeah.
So when I looked through the video, I seen that one. I was like, oh wow, because this house here has activity that I'm in.
See, I think that's a great way. Like even with the SLS, it's a great way to verify what you see and hear. Because if your K2 is going off and you hear something or people are getting responses, you pull out the SLS cam, and if you actually see a figure or an image where those sounds are coming from, or in the same area or the same room that is, I mean, that's a double verification. So I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This has been sitting here for a few minutes, so let me bring this up and cover your face there, Doug.
Oh God.
Oh God. The amount of mothers of our oldest daughter's friends who have said when Ramsey was over, her and their daughter went ghost hunting. Yes, my bad. Her dad ghost hunts. Sorry if they get nightmares. Okay,
Yeah.
I get that now. Now, is that why you said what you said? Oh God.
Yeah, it's funny because if a lot of people don't know what I do, it's funny because she's all over it. She loves it, and it's funny because I'm teaching her, like I said before, but not to be afraid, and to encourage it. And there's a couple times that we went places in the black. We're sitting in a basement in the pitch black, infrared on and stuff, the spirit box going.
Mm-hmm.
All the older kids went upstairs, couldn't do it. And there's me and a couple other people. And there's my oldest daughter, 8 years old, talking to the spirit box, asking it questions, just, right into it. And I think it's awesome.
Now, we had my granddaughter.
We used to watch Creepy Canada. It was all about. That was an old show.
I
was
remember
great.
I did a school project on it. Like I think I was in grade 3 or 4 when I did it, and I've been obsessed with paranormal like ever since then.
Nice. Now, see, my granddaughter that does the cupcakes, she was here one night when she was about 4 years old, 4 or 5, and she had some of the equipment. I think she had the EMF detector running around the house. Going,
Yeah.
Here goes, looking under the bed, and like she's looking for a lost dog or something. She's here goes.
That's why I think it's good to encourage that in kids, because I think a lot of times now, I mean, it might just be my own opinion or theory, but a lot of times kids' imaginary friends can also be, I think, maybe a spirit, because for the longest time, just randomly. It's a long story, and I'll kind of cliff note it. But my oldest daughter kept calling this person Humpty Dumpty in my house, and Humpty Dumpty lived in the closet, and Humpty Dumpty's on the stairs and stuff like that. And come to find out, it was actually kind of a connection with actual spirit activity as well. So I'm thinking, that's why I always try to encourage them that if they have a friend, to try to talk to it and try to do things and use the equipment, like you said, to give them the K2 or EMF and say, hey, but it lights up like a rainbow. Tell Daddy.
Right. Definitely. Beats and Bites was on to Doug.
Oh, yeah.
They double their prices on the Kinect.
Yeah, I was getting some good prices on the Kinects, really good prices. And like you said, I think it's just the hype and stuff that's going on now. A lot of prices for Kinects and for pieces of anything to build have even tripled in price, and it's getting more frustrating to do anything.
Yeah, as we were just talking about the other day here, it's pandemic pricing. Gotta charge
Yeah.
the triple
Yeah.
for everything.
No
It
doubt.
is. It is.
No
But
doubt.
Canada seems to be worse off than the States.
But
They
talk to
think,
me later, James. I'll message you later, James, and I'll hook you up with setting up an SLS cam. I will.
Yeah.
Now you're on yeah, you guys are on something.
Yeah, we are. Not right now, but
No doubt. I guess I must be because I was gonna say something. As I started saying it, it went right out of my
oh,
mind.
geez, I'm bad for that.
Yeah.
If you guys want, I could bring Matt on.
Yeah, sure.
Jason. Another member of mine decided to speak up. He likes to speak up when he thinks he could sneak in and say what he needs to say. Heard Scott was going to be a rapper and was toying with a nickname Humpty Dumpty Fedora. You know, I really need to learn to read this stuff before I throw it on screen.
Until you put it on.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Jason's been me, Lee, Jason, and his wife Angel are the original members of our group, Warren Society of Paranormal. We met up at a Burger King, and that's the rest is history, as they say. I try to convince Burger King they should give me a royalty check for promoting them, but they don't. I think they offered me a free small fries at one point, but
Yeah.
without further ado, I will bring on Mr. Para Consultant. He's saying no. He doesn't want to come on.
Why not? Come on.
So I was thinking Papa Fedora.
Papa Fedora, huh?
Yeah,
Papa
that sounds like a
Fedora,
good rapper
eh?
name.
It does,
Now,
actually.
if I was blue, y'all are too young. You probably don't even know who the Smurfs are, anyways.
Oh, I know who the Smurfs were.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
now we're
How you guys
talking
doing?
our age
Hey,
here.
Well, yeah, you are slightly older than me. Unlike what you wanted to admit earlier, he was all convinced that he was younger, so he's throwing me under the bus.
Yeah, that was great. That was a nice little verbal slap in the face there.
Hey, that was still funny. That makes good entertainment right there.
Yeah, it does, especially since I was on the other end of it, where it wasn't that big of a deal. Lack of fedora is the reason I don't want to come on camera. Yeah.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, I've still got all brown hair.
I helped raise up. I have 6 sons. So
Now I would give you gray hairs in minutes.
so
I've only got 2 sons and a daughter. No
Only.
grandkids yet, thank God.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
Well, now that you said something, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. As soon as you say it, it happens. So you just don't say it.
Yeah,
Oh.
all,
Get
I
the,
thought
get
there
the
was
text
one
message.
I'm worried about is my older son. They're talking about marriage and everything already yet. So.
really. So am I the only person on this show right now that has grandkids?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
I don't. I
Sorry,
don't have.
you know,
I don't. I think I could wait a few more years for sure.
That's scary for me.
Well, I was in Thailand a couple of years back when I was in the military, so who knows?
Jason, I invited you to come on. I hope you guys don't mind.
Have a
Yeah,
those
sure.
little harangues running around.
It's not my show.
Jason, check out your Facebook Messenger. I'm sure we could forgive you for lack of fedoras. Not
Hey,
for
if
your
you need time out, I have to use the little boys' room so you guys can
no
like chat
problem.
away.
There's enough of us here to keep things rolling.
I'll do a shameless plug while I leave.
It's a party.
Now,
That's what I just want
now we
away.
can talk about him. But no, I really appreciate you guys coming on. Matt, how's your day going? Work getting better today?
Busy. It was definitely better than yesterday. Just extremely busy.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm really excited about is actually the shirt I'm wearing. If anybody has seen my show, I usually have one of these guys in my hand. I'm usually drinking these. Well, I ordered a shirt and it came today.
Blood type amp energy.
So if anybody from Pepsi is watching, there's actually a story behind that. Short version, I went to the emergency room a couple months ago and they took some blood for me and everything else, and they found some markers that they couldn't figure out. Well, I'm sitting there in the emergency room with one of these, and they actually found traces of this in my bloodstream. They have no idea how. I don't even know how.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that'd be Dr. Pepper for me.
I've never seen a doctor cringe so hard before.
Probably not a good thing when that happens.
Well, I'm sure when you drink 8 to 12 a day, yeah.
Me, I drink either Coke or Dr. Pepper. That's the only two pop I drink. Myself,
I'm a Dr. Pepper fan.
yeah.
Actually, I have a Dr. Pepper. It's over there, though.
So right now, I don't know if you guys heard me earlier. I'm drinking peanut butter whiskey.
I heard you drink that a couple times, and that sounds really good.
What was that, Doug?
So what the fuck is peanut butter whiskey? That sounds rancid.
Some people say that. Other people like James.
Peanut butter whiskey. That'd be like I don't know, dill pickle cereal or something. That just doesn't sound right.
I've seen dill pickle whiskey too.
No, thank you.
Why not?
I'm not a big
Well,
fan
you
of
have to
pickle.
send me up a bottle of it.
There you go. I
Whatever
can
makes-
imagine what the shipping cost of that would be. This is the other thing I finished. Pumpkin whiskey.
Well, see, that would be all right, probably.
I didn't finish this tonight, mind you.
See, now, Scott, I want to try your Lucky Charm drink that you make.
I do brew
That's
my
what I
own
wanna
beer.
try.
Yes, I do my own home brew. And I made for St. Patrick's Day, I made a Irish stout with Lucky Charm cereal in the fermenting process. And
Nice.
instead of regular sugar, I use lactose sugar.
Really?
So I kind of gave it a nice little breakfast cereal, milky taste to it.
That would be really weird. I
All
just
the more reason to wake up and have a drink.
drink your breakfast.
Drink.
Drink your breakfast.
That's what I asked my work. I said, "Hey, can I drink my Lucky Charms, or can I have my Lucky Charm drink before I come to work?" They know me too well. They're like, "No, because I drive for a living. Yeah, I drive a city bus. They weren't having that.
Yeah, probably.
See,
frowned
drinking
upon.
your breakfast once is fine. It's when you drink the whole thing that's the problem.
Can I
You drink a whole bunch of it.
And Lee says I'll stick with my Kentucky bourbon.
You know, one time I was way back when I was a teenager. I wanted to teach English overseas one time, and I applied for this place. I think it was in Poland. I think it was, and they were going over the criteria of what you need for education, what's going on, and one of the things I actually said, only mild drunkenness will be tolerated.
Mild drunkenness. Who interprets how mild it is?
Now,
Yeah.
see, when I was in Thailand, we were over there for, it was supposed to be 3 months for training and offloading equipment. Well, we got it done in a month and a half. So the rest of that time, they cut us loose in this little city called Pattaya. I don't think I was sober until I hit the plane in Tokyo.
Yes, I've heard about Pattaya. I have a couple of Thai friends, and that's quite the place.
I want to go back. I love Pattaya.
I've never been overseas. As a matter of fact, I have who do I put a formal complaint into for Canada?
Yeah, good. I've
This is both
only been out of Canada once, and that
I'm
was
leaving
to
this.
New York. And
over the Peace Bridge.
yeah, I've been turned away from the States a couple times, but
I get that fair then, because I was gonna say they turned me away. I walked over the Peace Bridge and they said no. I was
My
like,
ID's
"Oh."
over there somewhere.
I've been to everywhere out New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, all that, but I've never gone the other way.
They never let you in the States. I'll be your sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay, we're kind of off topic here.
Yeah, we're always off topic.
I was going to say, how's this any different from any one of our shows, Scott? Either yours or mine.
No doubt. If me and Matt were to show up tonight, say we were able to come over and they didn't turn me away on the Peace Bridge, whoever wants to answer first, go ahead. Where would be the one place that you take us to knowing that we're investigators and we got experience and such? Where's the one place you take us that you would think we'd find entertaining?
You mean like locally, like where I am?
Yeah.
I'd probably take you where I said I go often to the Dorchester jail. There's been I think they said about 27 hangings, but I can definitely absolutely confirm at least 6 hangings and at least one, like the one death inside there, two deaths. So, and there's always activity. So even if you go in there for the first time or for the 50th time, you're always going to get something for sure. I think it's wicked. It's a good spot. It's nice, beautiful scenery too, and it's got a lot of history. And I think you'd be absolutely guaranteed something there.
I know we were talking about when I make it out that way, if this pandemic opens the fucking city up once in a while.
Yeah, true.
But because we were supposed to go out last year to his area, but it wasn't. We weren't allowed to travel. This year, maybe. I got to go get my shot next week. So
hopefully, if the cases go down, we're actually pretty golden here in New Brunswick right now. We don't have many cases.
Yeah, Ontario's just fucked.
Yeah,
hard by the language.
You can stay there.
The Dorchester jail is what you're speaking of.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. He's a good guy. That Bill Steele, he actually worked for the city of Toronto, and he bought the jail and moved there. It's quite he's quite a collector of sorts too. He's got a lot of movie memorabilia and props and stuff too. But most of the jail is still available. Like I said, you actually research. We can get the whole jail to ourselves. They just stay in the warden's quarters, and we got like 95% of the jail all to ourselves for the run. And basically anything that I ask or suggest or whatever, they just kind of let me do. So it's pretty sweet. And then at the end of the night, you go to bed in a jail cell and wake up the next morning. But I even shut the door and did some motion sensors one night, and I actually slept in death row overnight one time too. And they're pretty cool with that. They don't mind that at all.
The only place that you pay to go to jail.
Yeah. Pay money to get locked up. Go figure.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I haven't investigated any type of jail or prison since Eastern State, and that's been a while.
Yeah, there's 2 here there's 2 locally that, well, his is a couple hours drive, and there's one here about 30 minutes away. And like I said, there's quite a bit of activity in both, and both of them are very awesome people to deal with, and they're pretty much give you free reign of whatever you do as long as you don't disrespect the place or anything, but they're free game, so it's wicked.
So where's the one place that you guys would not so much bring us to, but where's the place that you guys would absolutely not go to, like absolutely just not be at, because it's
Tim Hortons? I'd never
Tim
go to
Hortons. You gotta have
dark energy there.
Any investigation.
No,
myself, I bring 2 extra large coffees with me to any investigation.
And
Never.
keep the demon.
I don't know. I don't think there's no place that's off limits.
Yeah,
Really?
I can't think of anything that is that freaky.
No place that's freaked you guys out, huh?
Yeah.
No, I think if anything, like I said, most of the time so far. Now, like I said, knock on wood, I haven't had any horrible, ridiculous things or any attachments or anything as of yet. But a almost the more people tell me not to do something or you don't want to go here, the more my stupid brain tells me that I want to.
Well, that's it. If you tell me there's a place that I should go, I'm going to be the first on that list.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to
always
find it.
Now, with us being experienced, that would probably help you guys choose to bring us along quicker than, say, somebody that's never had experience. Obviously, you don't want to bring them to a place that you feel are a bad location, for lack of better words.
Yes, I'm very careful with who I bring along. Like I said, right now, riding solo this year, it doesn't matter because I'm by myself. But the only time I do something, if I bring people that I don't know or anything, is when same as what you said, Scott. If I did a charity event or something like that where you're bringing groups in, but I try to do that during the daytime and whatnot, and let them use my equipment and look around and give them a tour and stuff. But I'd never let people I'm not really familiar with and how they act and react. I don't really try to bring them with me because that's the last thing I would want on top of a staircase and it's black and there's a creek or someone just, their belly growls and they think it's a demon and they just bulldoze over top of you. And yeah, I would never want that because you have to be careful with who you're with.
Definitely.
I've done a bunch of those charity things and stuff like that. And you get some people that have never experienced and they get freaked out at every little creek and
Definitely.
Oh my God. I gotta ask you guys a question because this is like my nemesis. It is, and I sometimes
I ask the question.
Scare people. Oh no, I have to ask. No, I'm asking you guys. You guys are the experienced ones, so I need some advice because I end up scaring the shit out of people, and I don't mean to. But what the hell do you guys do to stop your goddamn stomach from growling?
Eat. Thank you. Drink a little water.
What I usually do,
you're not really wanting to have a full stomach as far as food or whatever, just drink some water. And
that reminds me of the one investigation I was with Niagara Paranormal, and somebody passed gas, and it stunk out the room.
Been there, done that.
Somebody thought it was a demon fucking stinking up the place.
Is that sulfur? What the fuck?
You guys keep up with this fraud, or?
I actually got it on audio. We were down in the basement of that jail I was just mentioning. It was like 3:00 in the morning or whatever, and we were just me and two guys, pitch black. We started talking, and one guy was asking questions. If there's anybody here, give me a sign. And I just let a great big rip, and yeah. It's just so you couldn't. Man, we were laughing for like 20 minutes, man. It was hilarious.
So, Chris,
I have.
Was your wife part of that?
The thermal camera going, and all of a sudden you see this mist come out of somebody's ass.
Thermal imaging camera.
Yeah.
Nice. Now here's a question for all you guys. Jason sent this to me at one point, and he was asking, when you're on an investigation, you guys are doing your things, what's one thing that could happen that would just make you guys pack up and leave right away? James, if you want to start, anything out there that would like totally get you and just be like, that's it, I'm done, we need to leave like right now.
Something getting thrown at me like a knife or something. Like I've heard people getting things thrown at them, and I'm thinking, if I see something with a sharp edge going at me, I'm going to be gone.
A life-threatening instrument. That's your go-to, huh? How about you, Doug?
I honestly don't know. I think one thing I think that would probably make me go, and not really in fear, is just concern, is that I think the state of the place that you're investigating, if it's too unsafe to travel through, or if you're unsure, if you're not familiar with it, and you're with people who aren't familiar with it, and it just seems a little treacherous, or the places you're going doesn't seem safe, I think I'd be like, dude, let's get out of Dodge and maybe come back maybe when it's light, or get some more info on it, because I wouldn't want anybody being injured when they're doing something. Not
so much paranormal related, but
I would want everybody to be safe, yeah. because you want to be able to conduct something in a safe manner too. So I mean, that would be a big concern of mine.
For a lady, it was November last year, and the whole floor is missing in the living room. They took the whole floor out, so it's about a 3-foot drop.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
And it would be my dumbass who would fucking walk down that hole and not even,
you'd
staring
fall
at
down the
the
hole.
screen and just,
You're ending up in the basement.
yeah.
Give me a sign. Gone. Here you
Yeah,
go.
do a little Wile E. Coyote and hover in the air and then drop.
That'd be something to see on camera.
Yeah, no doubt. I'd say I'd probably laugh my butt off quite a bit.
And I know, right? Afterwards, it wouldn't be funny at the time, but playback would be great.
No doubt. That look on your face just before you drop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please. Yeah.
Matt, same question for you, sir.
Oh wait, I'm a part of this.
I think
okay.
so.
You're here now. You got a good heart.
I got trapped.
Right. I could always mute you, and what can you do? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. We figured this out the last video.
I think we did.
So for me, it depends. It depends if I'm with a group or if I was still running a team. Safety is always number one. Now I'm kind of a sick individual. I've been attacked before. I've been bitten, scratched, pushed. I've dealt with demonics. I've seen a lot, dealt with a lot.
Talking about your first date with your wife.
That too. Actually, true story. Here we go. Tangents. By the way, you two, when you're on my show, get used to the tangents. It happens more frequently. But
yeah, we never seem to stay on topic.
No.
Topic is elusive. But I actually met my wife in a cemetery, which is cool. But but no,
below the ground or above the ground?
Depends. Are you talking before he dug her out, or
I dug myself the hole, and then she fed me. But no, if I'm by myself, there's really not much that would push me away. Because like I said, I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, and I'm confident in myself with my experiences on how to handle pretty much a lot of situations. So I don't know. I can't really answer that for myself being, solo.
Well, we have had a night where we stopped an investigation right away, like packed up and left, and that was in Starbrook, Pennsylvania. I'm sure some of the people that part of the group that's in the chat would be able to confirm this. Place we've been to several times, we've gotten activity, but it was nothing crazy. EMF hits, shadow people. Wonderful place. We actually held an auction for charity and raffled off and had some winners there that night. And so we were going through, and the night was going pretty decent. And then it just took a real bad turn for dark. The room itself, it was a old factory that was no longer in use anymore. And the whole factory just got this deep darkness that just didn't seem natural occurrence. And that was the start of it. And then we started noticing that we were all starting to separate into separate groups. Like we were getting spread apart almost. And our feelings were getting amped up and just more intense. We were getting angry with each other. We were getting confrontational. Things were just getting horrible. I looked around and I realized all this, and I mentioned it to Lee and Jason and said, hey, this ain't good. We need to be done like now. And they seen and kind of agreed, and so we ended it on the spot. Because one thing that we were told from our spiritual advisor, as he likes to be called, Dale, he said one thing, if you ever come across things of the nature like I just explained, he said that's generally a good sign of a dark entity.
Get out of Dodge, eh?
Right. So his words and warnings spoke in my ear, and I was like, yeah. When he speaks, I tend to take pretty serious.
And one thing, if I may add, if anybody watching does experience that type of environment, don't ever just run out. Don't run. That you calmly walk out. That's one of the big no-nos. Like everyone has seen the Ghost Hunter show, the dude run. Don't do that. That is terrible.
And that was that boxer that did that.
Was he with a boxer? No,
Jay,
a boxer, UFC or something like that.
He wasn't. Brian, I think his name.
Yeah, it was Brian did it, but I don't know if he had the celebrities with them that night. I thought it was him and Tango.
Yeah, it was him and Tango.
I know Brian did it the one time, but when they did the Halloween one, they had a special guest.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. The
fighter.
MMA, the UFC fighter. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and then he screamed down the hall. He sounded like a little girl.
I didn't see that one. I don't believe.
I remember which one you're talking about. It was like one of the first live Halloween videos.
It was their first Halloween episode.
Yep.
And it was live right from
Jason, I was the one that called Dale. That's a whole setup in itself. But yeah, it's the same night that you're speaking of. I just wasn't one that made the call. Now, what would you guys say to a person that's just wanting to start a team, to just starting out into the field? Would you advise them to do that? Would you tell them don't do it?
Run away.
Don't run.
Dude, don't run.
So
I would tell them to really read up on the different types of hauntings and stuff like that. But going in totally blind, I wouldn't suggest that to anybody.
Now, you're a little unique, Doug, because most people say don't do nothing alone. You're saying the exact opposite for yourself. I'm not saying you're recommending it for people.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's right.
What's that?
I said, I'm not saying it's right or I'm right or doing the right thing, but and I'm not saying I have loads of experience as well. I've only done maybe 50 or 60 investigations, but there's I almost the kind of what we were mentioning, that you get that certain confidence, and you have to kind of, and what James said too, you have to educate yourself when you're going in someplace before you even do it. So if you get the background history of the place, the story of what's going on, I always go there in the daytime to set up and stuff, and I take early readings and whatnot too as well, so I know where the the trips and falls and things to watch are for in the daytime first, and then at nighttime it's just go for broke. So it is what it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing you got to make sure that you have good light when you're first starting out, and walk through the whole place before you go in there just gung ho and totally pitch black, and you'll find something. Yeah,
that's the other thing too, James, is that I don't know about anybody else. Again, like I said before I start, bit slapping people verbally, is that I don't like the way that the TV shows and people do it, and they get the mindset like, hey, I'm going to go lights out, pitch black, and just run with night vision and walk around and feel my way through. I don't do that. You have soft lighting in certain areas, or you find out where you're going first. And if I'm in a room, I'll go lights out or pitch black, and I'll do my readings and whatnot too. But it's very rare that I'll do an entire place in the pitch black, feeling around like a drunken idiot, feeling around. You can't maneuver that way in pitch black. I've tried it a lot of times, and it's stupid. And I think it's really unsafe and stupid.
Yeah.
Definitely research where you're going to be. That's for sure. Yeah. And that kind of tends to my opinion and suggestion of having at least one other person with you on investigations, is because
I agree with one
not
person.
so much for demonic or spiritual or paranormal reasons, but for physical safety, as far as falling and hurting yourself.
Yeah, you fall and you can't get up, and your phone's over there.
Because you fell down a 3-foot hole.
Yeah, you just gotta be safe and mindful. And like I said, I don't browse around in the dark like the TV shows. I do lights out.
Well,
And
I don't think anybody does it like the way the TV shows do. They go in and they in their first hour they get 20 EDPs and
we hire assistants to go around and
yeah.
do all the
Well, that's the
grunt
thing.
work.
I got my makeup crew in the other room anyway, so it doesn't matter what I do.
No doubt. Matt,
double.
same question for you, sir.
You go ahead.
What's that?
Same question for you, sir.
Which one? There's like 6 questions in that whole thing.
he's clueless.
About starting out?
Yeah, that was the question about starting out.
Oh, okay.
I'm
not taking notes, so I don't know. But I guess if you want to start your own team out, this is something that actually a lot of people come to me about, and this is hence the consultant side of it. I've said this before. Know what you want to do, first of all. Do you want to help clients out? Are you looking just to, this is going to be like a weekend thing? You're just going to go out and have fun. Have a goal in mind. Once you have a goal in mind, do your research. James, you hit it right on the money. Make sure you do your research. You know what you're getting into, and you have plans upon plans on what to do if something were to happen. Always have a backup. If you are going to take on clientele, you got to remember you're going into these people's homes. It's not fun and games for them. This is serious. This is something that can affect their lives. I've done personally over
provoking the wrong way. You can just make their life worse.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've done personally over 400 homes and businesses in my 14 years of doing this, and I've saved marriages. And it's stuff like that. You bring families together, or you can tear them apart. You got to be careful, because at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you might have a great time investigating, but they're the ones that are going to have to live there. You stir something up, and you just made their life a living hell.
Yeah, we like to leave and just say, "Hey, enjoy your demons."
Yeah, see you later. Adios.
Depends on the client.
There's a few people that you just make sure you just stir it all up.
No doubt. Now, this brings up an interesting case. I just tried to have this person come on. They're like, "No, I'm not ready to come on camera yet." So, but
come on, Heather. Bring Lee.
Yeah. Everybody pressure Lee to join. Lee will not come on camera for me. I always think that everything is demonic, and that is not always the case.
Yeah.
It's
very few and far between, if you ask me.
Yeah, I was going to say, how often do you guys think is really, it's not supernatural.
Yeah.
I
don't carry a box of salt with me whenever I go to an investigation.
Well, enough is more than salt.
Well, I mean, as far as the rarity of it, like I said, I've done over 400 homes and businesses in 14 years, and I've seen 3 true demonics.
That's usually because they did something they shouldn't have done, or somebody in the past hasn't done.
Ouija boards and things like that.
One of them was because
I want to speak of Lee's comment. The apparition, if anybody is not paying attention or is paying attention, is my significant other trying to stay off camera as much as possible.
She fails.
I see her walk past.
Yeah, she's a real living person. She ain't.
It's not the ghost stick.
No, not that I'm aware of. She lied to me. She's truly 800 years old and just I thought it was awfully odd that she was living here already when I moved in, but I just thought, oh well,
Whatever.
it can't be
Might as well
worse than
bury her.
finding her in the graveyard, right?
But yeah, like the rarities of them are, I mean, most people will never see a true demonic. And when I say true demonic, I mean like a legit one. Most can be classified as either poltergeist or malicious spirits, stuff like that, but not a true demonic.
And,
Well, even talking on that, sorry, but even talking on that too, not even just demonic, but a lot of people actually think when they tell you stories and whatnot too about the ghost doing this and doing that and the activity, but everybody always thinks that it's actually an intelligent spirit. Nobody keeps in mind that it might be just a residual energy that's in their house or in the property. Everybody always thinks that it's an active spirit and it's doing things and moving things all the time and whatnot, but nobody considers that it may be just residual energy that they're dealing with and it's not intelligent. I find that everybody always goes for an active communicative spirit when a lot of times, sometimes it's not, most times it's not.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, and I'm guilty of that myself. Going into investigation, I always approach it as if there is something intelligent there. So, Doug, what's up with my house?
Oh, yeah, he's
different, Scott, right?
Well, yeah, this guy is, I guess you could say, is one of my clients. He's a pretty awesome guy, and I was actually going to do another series at his house as well. This guy, you were talking about, people that were maybe injured or hurt or whatnot during, living at the house. He is actually kind of, I would say, tormented by a couple of things at the house. And the ironic thing, which really pisses me off, is that he described what was inflicting him, and we actually caught it on SLS cam, which is really fucking sweet. But then my partner at the time somehow hit the wrong button, and he lost everything on the SLS cam. So we lost that part. But the thing is, this guy has a collection of Nazi memorabilia, and not just that, but a lot of very intense Nazi and Jewish memorabilia, like very, very dark, sad stuff that's going on. Like he has the patches from the concentration camps. He has officers' helmets when people were shot and killed. He has a lot of stuff like that in his house, and it's quite an active house. So it's one of the things that I want to do this year, actually, for maybe a live feed overnight kind of thing, just to kind of show people about what can happen when you decide to get yourself involved in collecting something like that too. Because I strongly believe that a lot of that stuff could come with with stuff. Yeah.
And that's something I ask all my clients is, did you bring anything like antique wise into the house recently? Because those trigger objects are very difficult and very overlooked a lot of times with a lot of cases.
Right?
Yeah. And James is getting a shout out. Always giving people.
I see Rod said hi.
Always
How's it going, Rod? But it's 10 o'clock, and I got to get up for 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to have to let you guys go. You guys can chat away. But I got to get some sleep.
I really appreciate you coming on, James. It was a pleasure. You shared a lot of valuable information.
Next time, if we do this, we'll do it on a weekend that I'm off, and I can stay out a little bit later.
See, that's what I'm trying to do is on weekends I work, so that way I got a whole weekend to do whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
My wife has been texting me for the last half hour going, you better get to bed. You're going to be pitching in the morning.
You got to love the women of our life. They keep us in line, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, you better listen to wifey.
But yeah, I really appreciate you being on here. You guys make me look good. It was a fun time. Hopefully, if you don't mind coming back another time.
Yep.
Next Friday, my show.
Matt will.
I'll vote for it. Hey, about you, Doug?
We'll
Yeah,
talk.
I-
We'll talk.
yeah.
We don't want to steal too much of the spotlight from Scott.
Yeah, like I'm really begging for the spotlight. I'm happy.
And we can have Scott with us too.
Oh, he usually ends up in my show.
But
Yeah, I know. You guys, you pop in for everybody's show.
Well, I'm just happy it wasn't at Sheets this week.
caught him off guard last time.
Yeah, I just
whatever.
Just got the Sheets, got my
Walmart.
paid for my order, and all I hear is, "Do you want to talk
Strip
to Matt?"
club.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Professional at the church. I mean, who knows where I'll
No
catch
big
him
deal.
at.
No big deal.
But James, I'll let you go ahead and take off.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming on. I'll message you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. We'll talk to you
Yeah,
guys
man.
later.
Nice
Have a
meeting
good
you,
night.
daughter.
We'll see you again next week.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Doug, it's up to you if you're ready to hop off or not.
Yeah. Well, Jesus, 2 hours and 60. I didn't even know I was on that long. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Welcome
it's
to the
roughly
broadcast.
2 hours and 15 minutes. 16 minutes to be exact.
Pretty awesome.
This
Yeah,
is usually how it turns out.
Yeah, once you relax and you kind of get over the whole camera in your face issue,
Yeah.
time
Get
goes
the
by.
And that's wicked. No, I don't mind. I do have to. Well, I have to go here in a little bit, but other than that, I don't mind talking for a little bit. If anybody else has any comments or anything, I'm always up to learn. And
Actually, I did have a question.
How about we plan on jumping off at the 2:30 mark? 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's about another 15 minutes.
Oh wait. Oh, I thought you said 2:30 a.m. I was like, another 4 hours. All right.
Well, I'll just mute
get some more
myself and why don't we just turn this into a live investigation of my house? I mean,
yeah,
Sure, why not? I'll do commentary.
you'll do
But-
commentary. Oh, that's
no,
when I'm falling through the well.
Actually, I do have a question for you, Doug.
What's that?
I wanted to catch it before James got off, but I'll ask him on Friday. So I know Scott and I have talked about this, but the paranormal view in your area, what's that like? Like, do a lot of people look down at you? Like, they see you out and about, they see you like with a shirt or your banner I see behind you, or they know what you do. Do you see any negativity from that, or how do you handle that?
It depends on who it is and who you talk to. I find a lot of times, and I'm not being stereotypical, but I find sometimes the older generation tends to not, like if you're going in a cemetery or you're poking around an old church or you're looking for people and stuff, a lot of times they're a little bit more sensitive on it, especially like I was saying about the case that was almost literally in my backyard. Talking about local things sometimes can be a little touchy. But at the same time, I do a lot of promoting of, I try a lot of local history and recognition of these old museums and these old places that people used to go to back in the 1980s that don't go anymore. You're drugged there every summer as a kid, and now you're older and nobody goes there. And I try to bring attention to those places. I try to bring those old museums up and those old historic houses back so people will go, oh, wow, that's cool, because there's this whole new generation of people that like the paranormal and are interested now. And that's kind of like, you hate saying it, but it's like a new niche that could kind of make these old places that are kind of forgotten kind of thrive and jump back again. And that's what I want to try to do, is say, hey, look, there's a guy doing an investigation there. Oh, it might be haunted. Cool, let's go take a look. And then those people go, and they've never been there before. So you get a whole new crew that are going there to look, and they're paying the admission to go to the house and stuff. And so I do a lot of that, try to promote a lot of old kind of forgotten buildings and museums that people don't frequent. And I think a lot of people kind of embrace that, and they like that when I'm kind of promoting around the area. So they kind of embrace it a little bit.
Awesome. And that's such a
That
good
is
thing
cool.
to be doing for your
Yeah.
area. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Ron says, I find a lot of people share stories when you're out and about. Ron, if you'll mention in comments, are you do you investigate yourself? Are you part of James' group?
I get that too. I always wear my hat, and I always have my magnets on the car. So they're like, "What?" Of course, they see investigations too, and they're like, "Are you a security company? Like, what's going on here?" And it's like, "No, I'm whatever." Like,
See,
oh, okay. Well, you've got to check out this house back here because this guy, and then it just rolls from there, right?
See, I've got stories and such like you guys both, I'm sure. But I have to be careful with what I wear as far as my hat goes, and my shirt, our throwback retro shirt. So when we first started, only had the group initials WASP, WASP. And unfortunately, those initials kind of have a bad history with white Anglo-Saxon Protestants and such. And yeah, they're
Seriously, I was thinking of like the old metal group, but not what's
Lawless and such. Yes, I've been confused with that too, believe it or not. But yeah, seriously, the that group that has the racist side to it. And
okay, so there can be a misconception that way.
There's been misconceptions, so yeah. I make sure that if I'm wearing the hat, I have the full group name on my shirt, so that way you say no. Actually, if Lee's still here, he'd be something. We just got done with he's still here. We got done with the investigation, and we had our retro shirt and hat on. They weren't retro at the time, and we went into a country fair, gas station. And this woman stops us and says, "Man, that's so cool that you guys are out with that, and you know you're showing your pride or whatever." I can't remember exactly what she said. And we're kind of looking at her, we're like, "So you know about us?" She's like, "Yeah." And we're like, "We're just a local paranormal group or something along those lines." And we said we're paranormal hunters, and she's like, "Oh, that's good too." We're like, "Oh my god." Really? So, yeah,
I guess you have to be careful that way too. Yeah,
right. Luckily for us, we haven't been like in Pittsburgh or something that would probably get us killed for such things. But
I do get that sometimes, though. I'm sure that you guys have, like you said, your stories. But I mean, it's not in a really bad situation per se. But if I happen to see, I'm a sucker for, like I said, old archaeology or old rundown houses and stuff. I love just seeing them and taking pictures of them. And sometimes I'll do that. I'll stop and I'll pull over the side of the road and I'll see an old abandoned house. And I don't poke through them because I'm not that kind of person, but I'll stand and take pictures of it in the facade, and I'll take a picture of close up of a broken window or something. Or, there's all kinds of cool things that I love about old houses. And you get a lot of people like that, especially living in a small town. People pull over, almost insulted, like, what the hell's this guy doing poking around these houses around this neighborhood? You know what I mean? So you do get a lot of, you can get in a lot of trouble that way if you're not too respectful.
Right. Ron, I don't know what RRLC Paranormal is. I'm not sure if you do either, Doug. I'm assuming you definitely don't, Matt.
No.
But that's cool. Welcome to the chat.
Hi.
And always great hearing from other groups and such. I mean, that's another question I asked other groups is Para-Unity. Have you ever heard of it? As he laughs down there. It's not a bad one. Paranormal Unity is pretty much where paranormal teams kind of support each other and BS and kind of just build each other up.
Yeah.
I believe that's a good thing. But I also believe I also believe, though, that it's really dependent on geographical location. You get two groups in the same small city, they don't like to be unified too much a lot of the times.
No. I think that's sad, though. That's pretty petty sometimes, because I think if you go somewhere and check something out, why couldn't another group be like, man, you know what? You said I saw your camera and your footage, and you did this, and we actually caught that too. Around the same area, and you can kind of feed off each other and stuff too. And I wish there'd be more of that in this community sometimes, but at the same time, you really have to watch it too, because some people who are these big great groups and stuff, a lot of them could be kind of assholes and scammers too, so you have to kind of watch that as well.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm kind of guilty with the whole not being so friendly with other groups. Well, I won't quite say it that way. I'm not a jerk. I don't believe. But
I don't believe.
I don't believe. Self-reflection is not always as well as you believe it is. But I do believe there's been a few times where I wasn't as friendly as I could have been when other local groups were around. Yeah. And that's something I try to reflect and try to build up on my own personal side is.
Yeah.
But
working together is good. But I mean, if I don't want someone to dig and ask me questions, I'll be like, go find it yourself. I had to dig, go find it yourself. And then we can share what we found. I don't mind that, but don't ask me for information for a place that you're going that I already was. But right. I don't mind sharing footage and talking about it and be like, you know, watch out for this or do this. Or if you hear this in this room, it's blah. And I don't mind saying stuff like that. But, you know, I don't like diggers and pokers either.
Well, that negativity that Scott was talking about it's almost like territorial. Is actually one reason why I stopped doing team-based investigations and I branched out and doing the consultant side of it because this just frees me up. Now I can help every team out. I'm not my own team. I'm not going out, doing this or that. I can help everybody.
Or just do what I do and be territorial and just go and piss around where you're doing, and they just won't come near.
See, I like this type of thing, especially with Scott.
Oh, this is definitely fun. This is Lee's personal view of all this.
Actually, Lee, I have to jump in on this one. I actually had a joke. I actually had a joke out in San Diego where I told people, I was like, the reason why I do this is because the dead people are more interesting than the living. They're more entertaining. They have better stories.
They get more to say. Some of them are actually more charming.
Brantford, is that by you, Doug?
No, that's probably more closer to James. That's more central Canada.
Canada. Okay.
I'm guessing. That's cool. Ontario, I'm guessing.
Well, welcome to the chat. Comments. Yeah, I'm going trying to keep up with the comments myself. It's hard to sit here and have conversation with everybody and really enjoying getting into the conversation. And remember, there's a chat over here that we should be paying attention to too. So I'm sorry, chat, that we're a little behind on answering stuff. Hopefully you're still here when we get to your questions or your statements. It's not because we don't want to answer them. It's because we're so caught up in our conversation that sometimes it's just,
I don't shut up and I don't pay attention. I am totally bad for that.
I have shiny syndrome. Terrible.
Yeah. I don't. I just like talking. I do agree with that, Leslie. Yeah. Same. I wish that people would kind of share and cooperate a little bit, and you don't have to do exactly what each other does. And people have different opinions on things. That's what I like. Is that I might do something a certain way, and somebody else might do something a different way, or you might have different techniques and stuff too. And be like, just like you with the whole Google conversation thing. Never heard tell of it. I was like, if you were here and we were local, I'd be like, dude, I'll try that. That's awesome.
Well, share. You can try it anyways. I mean, you don't have to have me around. Let me know how that works.
Yeah, I'm always up for a road trip.
Yeah. Well, if they let me in this time.
Well, I have my ID.
I'll make sure I have mine. Yeah, they turned me around because I didn't have ID. I walked across the Peace Bridge from Buffalo to try to enter, but they said no.
Maybe if you would have had cupcakes.
Maybe. Long enough, I didn't bake them. What Lee is referring to is we had back again the hat and the shirt, and we were done with the case, and we decided to chase some more spirits. At a local bar. And they had a nice band on, wonderful band. They're pretty good band. And I was sitting down talking to this woman. I had come to find out that it was the drummer's girlfriend. And I wasn't trying nothing more than she was talking to me, and we were just kind of having a few drinks, nothing more than that. But we were getting dirty looks from the band. Like, what the? I couldn't figure it out. And finally, the drummer came over during one of their session breaks, and he's like kind of wedging between me and his girl with probably good reason. And he's like, finally, I think either I seen him looking at my shirt or some reason I was like, Yeah, we're a paranormal group. We just got done with this really amazing case. And they kind of looked at us. I was like, yeah, Warren area cited paranormal. And they're like, oh, dude, we thought you had some big balls wearing that like out in public for anybody and everybody to see. So they thought, the worst case scenario and thought that we were some jerks were running around the area, some rednecks or something. So they didn't even want nothing to do with us. They thought we were like the worst people in the world. And I don't blame them if that's what it truly stood for, but luckily it got figured out. They were cool with us after that. They were asking all kinds of questions about the paranormal.
Gotta love misconceptions, right?
Those two, right?
Mhm.
Yes, and this is another thing. This is where kind of got me kind of a little jaded on other groups, and Lee as well, and probably some of our other members. Not so much anymore, but the group that was here longer than us, when we first started off, they were threatening to sue us because of our group name. And that's when we stopped talking to them and said, look, show us paperwork or else leave us alone. We don't want nothing more to do with you. We tried to work with them up until that point.
I don't know. That's why I don't like sometimes. I'm kind of an introvert, so to speak, in certain places like that. I'm not really a people person sometimes. And I think that's why, because people always get their panties in a bunch or get all overreactive for nothing, instead of just communicating with somebody first and asking questions or bringing something up and talking like normal people. Most times they just boom right in your face and they want to sue you and threaten you and do this and you can't do that. And instead of just coming across and you might be able to work something out, everybody has to be a freaking asshole. I understand that. Everybody rather just try to intimidate instead of just talk like a normal human.
Well, that was the founder of that group that came across that way. Fortunately, we've spoken to members or past members. I don't think it's truly much of a put together group anymore, but we've been able to reconcile with their members and on a lot friendlier terms. As a matter of fact, some of the members that was part of that group we connected with and did an investigation at the mall with.
Yeah, see?
So yeah, and they brought a good spin to it, because what we didn't know, because we were the new group, they knew. So yeah, it made a nice spin to things. And it was a nice kind of closure to it.
Well, I look at it this way, Scott. It's just like your and I's relationship. Like, there's some things in this field that you know better than me, and then there's some things in the field that I know better than you, and that is a cat coming in.
I was about to say, I don't see no body coming in behind that door open.
No, that was one of my cats. I'll be improving.
Yeah, well, you don't have to prove it. We're investigators because we both kind of look like, okay.
Hey, I'm trying to get you views, Scott. There's a cat here. I'm trying to get you some views.
But we don't have a relationship, Matt. You won't bring me pizza.
You won't bring me cupcakes.
Well,
there's a stalemate. But I mean, everybody has their own field of the paranormal that they specialize in, that they just attack. They're just attracted to, whether it's the metaphysical, whether it's a religion, whether it's a practice, whether it's something. There's something that drives them. So the more we work together, the better off we'll all be, because, and Scott, I've said this to you, you're over there now, but I've mentioned to you before, we've already, as paranormal investigators, answered the question, is there life after death? Yes. Otherwise, who are we talking to? The big question is what happens? What is after death?
Yeah, what's the process?
Exactly. So the more we all communicate, the better information we'll get.
Yeah.
Then once we answer that question, then what are we going to do?
And that's a big question.
And I think that's the same thing. Like anybody in any field, you see somebody do something, and they might even be treasure hunters or something. And if they do something, like you said, there's a guy that's really good at the scanning and X-rays for underground. There's a guy that's good at metal detecting. There's a guy that's good at digging. A guy good at research. Stuff like that. There's always a guy for something. So if I'm a group and I come across something I'm not familiar with, I'm going to call a guy who knows a guy that knows something about it. I mean, I wish that people would be, that's the whole thing about cooperating with each other. It makes it so much sense.
Definitely. And situations like this is nice because now there's 3 groups up there in Canada. If somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, I have this going on, I find out they're towards around Brantford, I could say, hey, I know this person. I spoke to this person. I could send them that way.
I know a guy. The only 3 guys that work in Canada. That's it. There's just 3 of us.
Scott, you're international now.
No doubt.
And I saw Lee. I saw your comment, and we'll talk.
What's an extravaganza?
It is the second most annoying pizza I make. It's a lot of toppings on one pizza. I know which one he's talking about. And what's sad is I'm picturing it in my head.
So, out of curiosity, I'm a city bus driver. Matt works at Domino's Pizza. If you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living?
I'm a postmaster, actually, for Canada Post.
It is very interesting that the wide range of occupations, lifestyles, and everything that all these groups have.
That's the cool thing about it.
Me, I'm kind of lucky where I speak to a lot of people, so I learn all kinds of little local stuff.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? You pay attention about, like you said, about what occupations people have, and you really see the people in groups have a lot of occupations that deal with public and deal with talking to people and socializing with people as well. Like you with the city transit and you at Domino's too as well with the customers and the talking and me with customers. Like a lot of people that do, I find anyway, that do ghost hunting groups and whatnot are in those social businesses.
Oh, really? See, I never made that connection.
Yeah, a lot of them are in a lot of social businesses.
Yeah, now that I think some of the people that's been on the show has definitely been very customer oriented careers.
Yeah.
Huh. I never made that connection.
Yeah, you don't hear tell of a lot of, I don't know, maybe there are, but a lot of like more privatized business people or whatnot. They probably do, but most people are kind of in the outgoing kind of social business.
Or at least the ones more outspoken and in the limelight are.
Yeah.
Now, it does all show up on here. With group, it's hard. I watched it with Doug and certain members. You watch people watch people have different views and opinions, or members who want terribly bad for everything to be something paranormal instead of looking at footage they've taken and seeing the real story.
Yeah, definitely another one of my pet peeves. I have to watch my mouth sometimes. I know I curse, but I have to watch my mouth sometimes when I talk about things. So I have a lot of pet peeves in the paranormal as well.
Well, definitely. And Ron, I think you're wrong. Being a forklift driver, you're actually speaking to a lot of coworkers to get your job done.
Communication and whatnot too.
Right. So even though it might not seem like it, but you definitely are working and networking to get your job done.
There's different forms of networking. It's not just dealing with the general public.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're still socializing, you're still communicating, you're still talking, you're still doing all that.
Definitely.
And hell, I'm an electrician by trade, and I work for Domino's.
I'm a slacker by trade, so.
Well, that's good.
But guys,
trade.
Before we get too far in wrapping up, which we're already past that 2:30 mark.
I was gonna say, how's that 2:30 time working for you, Scott?
I'm having fun. I mean, I really am. Before we do start heading that way, if anybody Ron is bound and determined to prove us wrong.
See, yeah, you make a statement and someone has to say something that just, no, that's not true.
That's okay, Ron. You're our little stone in our shoe.
I'm not wearing any shoes tonight. Thank goodness I took mine off.
Long enough you got pants on, we're happy. But so I was getting to, if you have questions, please ask them. If you've been here this time and found any value out of this show, I guess we could call it a show.
Yeah, you stuck around this long and listened to all that. That's amazing. I think there should be prizes. What prizes do you have for everybody that stuck around?
Definitely not cupcakes.
Matt's gonna hand out extravaganzas or whatever they're called.
Extravaganza.
Yeah,
Start
when you
sending
get
Matt your addresses so he can get them shipped to you.
yeah, I'll start doing that when you get Lee on your show.
Damn, you had to go there.
You're right.
But believe it or not, the numbers have been pretty steady the whole time. As far as viewer goes, I know you guys don't get to see them, but the numbers.
Are you kidding me? I have YouTube up on my computer, and I have Facebook over here running.
so you're our whole viewing audience. No wonder why there's no questions being asked. Yeah. I mean, but no, I've been blessed so far with this show. I've been blessed with
Lee wins.
Yeah,
Lee wins.
I've been blessed with having a core group that comes on, asks questions. I'm very happy with more interaction with new people coming on. It brings a whole new vibe to the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's always something to ask. There's always something.
Everybody's like, now the chat's going. But ask questions, click like, heart, share, whatever.
Too late.
It is. Help me out, help me grow, please. I appreciate that. And I'm trying to read through the comments. Leslie saying, nope, really doesn't deal with the clients. That's her job. So,
I knew that was coming. When you see it.
Yeah, I caught it. Leah's saying, I'm not a slacker, I'm a slather ass. Heather, Lee's a co-founder I've been begging for months to bring on. That's his niece telling him he should get on.
So what's the deal? Why doesn't he want to come on?
He's a pain in the butt.
Unless you have a chip challenge.
Every time we say, bring Lee on, this is his comment. And Ron,
one of those guys.
Yeah, he thinks he's a comedian. 10 million comedians out of work, and here he is giving away jokes for free. Ron, that's awesome. Generally, I try to start between 7:30, 8 o'clock. I try to lean towards 7:30 every other Saturday. So not next Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'll be back on. Heather says Lee is stubborn. That's why he is not coming on. You should have seen me and Lee do the Poke One Hot Chip Challenge.
It was amazing. I watched the entire video. It was great.
That's what you could do. You could spice it up a little bit, like those YouTube shows. What is it, Hot Ones, where they just eat the hot wings and interview people. You could just get people to eat like hot chips and stuff while they're talking about the paranormal. And
I know the people at
I'll
home
interview
can't.
If everybody wants to eat, I'm good for that.
No, actually, for those of you who aren't sure how red these two got, right next to yours over here, right over here next to our names, they were about that red. It was amazing. I loved every minute of it.
I ate a half gallon of ice cream and then drank a half gallon of milk in under a minute.
I wouldn't
on video.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm not a fan of heat.
And then what was really amazing was Scott trying to explain why he wasn't talking.
Yeah, Lee is sitting there just not saying a word. I'm trying to keep because it was live, so I'm trying to keep interacting, and
meanwhile you're on fire.
I'm looking back at him like, okay, come on now, anytime now, you can say a word.
He's
It's
turning
hot.
redder and redder. He's like, he was talking in a second. Just give me a minute.
Oh God, I was praying a lot that day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you were.
That's awesome.
And Twitch. You know, Ron, I did run Twitch a couple times and got absolutely nowhere with views or anything. So I switched over to Twitter. So, yeah. And I think Ron is saying he'll get on and eat hot wings or whatever, or chips, and be interviewed. I think that's what he's saying he's game for.
That's a good challenge.
That's a new catch to get people to watch the show, huh?
Mm-hmm. See how they can answer a question while they're gagging on their own spit.
Have them explain what residual haunting is over intelligent hauntings.
While they're trying not to vomit at the same time.
Bring food with a challenge, and you'll get Lee on. Now, I don't. Lee said he will never do one of those hot chips again, and I don't blame him.
There's always something to eat, though. Always.
There was no flavor. It tasted like charcoal. I mean, there
That's
was no.
I'll trust you on that.
Oh yeah,
Your face didn't show charcoal though.
It didn't go the color of charcoal.
it was black. It kind of was black.
Not your face. Your face said, "Holy shit! I don't know what this is."
Yeah, you could almost look at my face and know the moment where I knew I messed up.
Regretting 3, 2, 1.
Oh God, that hurts my head, my jaw. Phantom pains still to this day.
PTSD from that.
But I think we're past the quarter till 3 hour mark.
Yeah, man.
Can you believe it's been that long?
Yeah.
No. Feels like, at least 2.5. That's it.
Right. Maybe 2.5,
4 hours.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that being said, guys, I mean, not the 2.5 hour thing, but I'll get your guys' channels and your links and stuff, and if you don't mind, I'll promote them on my Facebook page and whatnot too as well. When you guys start to go live and have your shows and stuff, I'll just post them when you guys do.
By all means, I'm always happy to have promotion, that's for sure. And speaking of which, this is your group. They can find you on Facebook, Paratime Investigators, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And your YouTube, they could just do a Google search, or not Google, but YouTube search, and should come up pretty quick with that.
Absolutely. Easily on YouTube. Yep. It's probably even on Google probably, or there's probably not too many Paratimes, I doubt.
Well, I'll be looking for you, Doug, and I already found James. Well, James found me, but usually I go live every Friday, except for yesterday. Yesterday I had some personal things going on, but we will definitely be in communication.
Yeah, for sure. It's good.
Now, you made a comment earlier about the music heavy metal group Wasp, and that brought it up, finding it. It was funny on Facebook. Somebody got a hold of me, sent me a message saying, Blackie, I've been a long time fan of yours, and just raving about the group. I'm like, oh, man.
Scott, did you ever send the Godfather his fedora yet?
No, not yet, Mike. Believe it or not, fedoras are hard to find around where I'm at. At one point, they were all over, and then just like spring flowers, they disappeared.
Like the bowler hat. Nobody wears bowler hats anymore.
Ooh, that'd be a good trend to bring back,
wouldn't it? Bowler hats.
I'll keep working on the fedora because I'm fedorable, and you bring the bowlers.
That's what we should do. We should all pick out like a classical hat to wear.
Yes, like a top hat, a bowler hat, or Kango.
We'll get Lee to bring the cowboy hat.
Those great big foamy cowboy hat things.
Oh, that's me.
Jason could wear the hat with the pinwheel on it.
Oh wait, I'll do the beer one. I'll do the beer helmet with amps.
Oh yeah, the straws and.
You're being Jay says he wants a cowboy hat. Since you're the only one wearing a hoodie, I guess you're being requested.
Yeah, well, my onesie I'm wearing, I'm wearing a skeletal onesie. My hood goes over and it has a skeleton face. So, yeah,
So she's trying to throw you under the bus.
yeah. I used to do live feeds with onesies and stupid masks and hats on and sometimes.
Well, that's what gets people to remember, your
Exactly.
show.
What the hell's that idiot doing? Yeah, exactly. It's great.
And before they know it, they're stuck into the show for 5 hours.
Yeah,
That's
2
like
hours.
me. I like to
minutes,
switch around
45
my
seconds.
green screen shirts.
By the way, brick's your color.
Thank you.
No problem.
I was told I'm built like a brick house,
Mhm.
Play that song on the outro, Brick House.
There you go. Well, you have to modify it for copyright.
I was about to say,
exactly.
the last video I did, there was like 2 seconds worth of music on the intro, and I don't even know how the music got there. And sure enough, it got a copyright claim for that like fraction of a second of music. I'm like looking like, what the hell copyright? I own all the rights to everything. And it showed, and it's like, so I replaced it, and it took care of it. But it was like,
It's ridiculous.
wow.
Well, then that means
Who's wearing the Mickey Mouse ears?
I don't have any Mickey Mouse ears. I
Speaking
don't.
of Disney, did you know that Goofy is not a dog?
What?
He's a
What
cow.
is a cow?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a cow.
What kind of cow has a great big long nose like that? And a little
I
olive in it like that? No cow looks like that.
I looked it up before, and I don't remember what kind it is, but yeah, look it up. You'll find out.
So basically, they're saying that the artist was really horrible, and they're just kind of backing it up.
Hey, you do enough adult activities.
Annabelle cow on Disney is a lot like Goofy. I got lots of abilities, Heather.
But you put Pluto and Goofy side by side, face to face. They're very dog-like.
I didn't make them.
Now I'm going to be thinking about that tonight. That's going to bother me.
You're welcome. Anything
Thanks
to start a conversation.
It'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, the wife.
He just wakes up at a dead sleep. Goofy is not a.
I'm sorry, Christy, if I started something, and you gotta deal with it. But
side by side shots and everything. Like, look at this. What do you think? Yeah.
It holds up a picture of an actual cow.
Yes, exactly. It sounds like a good TikTok. Cow, not a cow.
5-hour rant.
Yeah, I know.
Do you guys have any abilities? I believe she's referring to psychic and that along those lines.
I will plead the fifth on psychic and mediums.
For those of you that have abilities, go ahead, and he'll answer you.
You can just stare. Is that how we answer? That's my answer.
I guess the only thing I would say for me is my body is sensitive to the electromagnetic field. Too much of it, I'm very sensitive to it. So when the EMF field rises, I get migraines.
That could really be rough in some spots.
I was going to say that's nasty, especially in some places.
When I was in San Diego, my team decided to put an EM pump underneath my driver's seat while we were driving to LA, which is a 3-hour drive, and didn't tell me. They thought it was funny.
That was their joke, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
About an hour into the trip, that thing went flying down the interstate.
The worst thing I ever did to somebody, it was along those lines, and that wasn't even paranormal or anything. My cousin pissed me off one day, and I don't know if you guys know what we call chili sauce for hot dogs. No, probably more up this way. Anyways, it's like putting chili on hot dogs. And we ordered some hot dogs from a local restaurant, takeout, onions, the whole 9 works, chili sauce, 90-degree days. He went inside the store for something. I threw a couple hot dogs underneath his seats in his car. Like a few days later, he found it. Like almost a week later, his car was rotten to smell.
Oh, that's the worst. What the hell is that smell? You can never find what the smell is in a car. You can never.
Especially when
sometimes you just don't want to.
I was gonna say, you never check under the seat. You keep looking around. What's that smell? And then you smell and you keep smelling. Yeah, it's rank. And you never look under the seat. I don't know why.
You don't look. Guys don't look. Women do.
No. Just keep talking about how bad it smells and you just keep driving. I don't know why.
Do you smell that?
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. Yes, I do smell it. It's gross. Yeah.
Roll the window down. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got 2% on my phone, guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry if this bothers your kids, by the way.
Oh God, no. No, they sleep through the apocalypse, really.
Well, I think she's talking about Goofy there.
Oh, don't get me started, woman. We'll be talking about that after I get off.
Do you guys sage afterwards or do anything to cleanse when as far as wasp goes? Yes, we have pretty much Angel at this point does the saging and such. She's knows and knowledgeable about such things. Heather has done it for us as well. She's very knowledgeable with saging. If it's more along the lines of a darker force or whatever, or something that really needs to be done spiritually, as in religious wise, we have somebody for that too. I don't think he's willing to travel to Canada. I might be wrong, but he does. He does.
I don't want to put that bill.
He wouldn't charge. I shouldn't say that. I don't think he would charge. I can't.
He's probably watching, going, "Excuse me."
Right. He's like, I'm already getting phone calls. But
yeah, really.
he does. He's willing to talk to people. He's willing to help teams out if they have any kind of situations. He's not
even consultation is good, right?
Right. So if you guys ever have an issue, get a hold of me. He loves. He's willing. He's not exclusive to just us. He's willing to help other teams out.
Awesome.
So, Doug, it was great to have you on. You're always welcome to come back. I heard you say your phone was down to 2%.
Yeah, 2%.
We're pushing 3 hours. This is probably the longest I've been online for a live show.
Sweet. Did we set a record? That's awesome.
I think we did. And I think it's the 75th video, by the way, of my channel. So all kinds of fun things going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely was a pleasure meeting you. I hope you had fun and enjoyed.
Yeah, I did. I do. And like I said, I'll plug you guys away. Well, I won't plug you away because that's not good. But I'll put you guys' links, and when you guys go live or have shows, I'll put on mine too as well, so everybody sees it.
Really love the support and really appreciate it. Look forward to having you back in a couple of weeks. We have a few other groups coming on, and I'm also working on 2 separate type of guests. One will be for like cryptoids, Bigfoots, and things like that.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely watch.
Very local. And I'm also, I don't know if you've heard of MUFON, Mutual UFO Network. They've been on History Channel and all that. I've got in contact with them, and they're possibly going to be on the show, on live with me too.
Oh, cool! I'll have to catch that and chat away.
Heather is saying good night, by the way.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, guys. I appreciate it.
We will be in contact.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys take care. Stay safe.
You as well, and make sure you keep doing what you're doing because there's a lot of people out there that needs the help that we provide.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. Be it like you said, spiritually, or just know something, or bring back history and whatnot in the community. It's all important.
Very
I
true.
think we need to talk for 40 more seconds just to hit that 3 hour mark.
No
Look, it's
doubt.
bothering. Look at it. It's right there. It's almost. If my phone doesn't die, if it does, go on without me.
So,
But it's
any last words you'd like to speak to your wife before? Well, let's switch this around a little bit now that you're probably going to get killed by the looks of it. Anything you want to tell the general public before your wife murders you?
Actually, I do. Goofy is a dog, and I'll leave it on that.
And you'll leave it on that. Any email or any way to get a hold of you?
Actually, through Facebook is the best, or actually you could do doug.curtis@gmail as well. It's easy to remember. I do have a Pair Times one, but I'm kind of just getting the tech part of that going. So Facebook or doug.curtis@gmail, and I'll always answer. I'm always here to help people out or kind of relive the history and bring that stuff back, bring the community back. Always.
Nice. And thank
Yeah.
you. Ron says good night, guys. Good night, Ron. And
Night,
we're past the 3-hour mark for a
Sweet.
record.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Doug. Have a good night.
Yeah. You guys
See
take
you, Doug.
care.
You too.
Stay safe.
You too.
All right,
Matt?
back to you, asshole.
Wow, that was just right to the point, wasn't it?
It's 3 hours. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Well, I definitely didn't plan on no 3 hours, that's for sure.
No, but it's still a good show. Really good
Thank
show.
I appreciate you hopping on. And
Hey, I appreciate you inviting me while I'm not at Sheets.
I was about to say, being home, I see you made your way out of the basement.
Kind of had to. Doing some cleaning down there, so there's really no setup. So I'm here.
Check this out. Yeah, he was about ready to get on.
You had 3 hours.
3 hours, Jay. I sent the link like an hour ago, but now you're gonna jump on.
Well, we can always stay on for another 3 hours.
Yeah, I'll just snooze here in the chair. You all just have a conversation. And Jay, you had the link. So you could have came on anytime you wanted to, mister. But
no, it was another good show. Another great group of guests. I'm excited to see them and talk to them on mine. But
I've been blessed, and we've been blessed with the variety of people that's been on.
mm-hmm.
From the very relaxed, casual groups like Wisconsin and such, where the JPI seemed very structured, and they have the way they do things and is right to the point. The group that we just had on from Ontario, they seem like they're a nice balance between the two separate groups, mind you.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing I always find fascinating is we're in the same field, but yet every team and group, or like for myself, we all do things a little differently. And that variety is just so amazing to me.
Yeah. Oh, I fully agree. And I am not a night owl with issues like you are stating for yourself, Jay. I'm like a fun fair in the morning full of sunshine. I don't know where I was going with it.
The 3 hours is showing there, Scott.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially since I worked this morning too. So full day of work, run home. I think I fell asleep on the couch for about 10 minutes. And
no, I was up at like 8 o'clock, I think. Mackenzie woke me up, and then I helped her parents out until it was almost 9:30. My daughter had her first soccer game this morning. So then I went to that, and then I've been at work since like 11:30.
Yeah.
So shorter day, but ugh.
I'm being requested to.
Yeah, I see this. And Jason, my response to that one is, aren't we all?
Heather, that's crazy. She's saying that when we're speaking of cases and such, there's activity picks up in her home.
We should test this theory on another video.
I think we should spend 4 hours of us just like throwing EVP session at her house. Just us staring into the screen. Oh boy.
Just wait for the response.
He came out and he took off that quick. Jay.
Oh, I'm gonna leave this to you two. I gotta go to the bathroom. I still haven't eaten either.
I think he's gonna be jumping. I don't think he's gonna make it on. I think he was just gonna. I don't know what he's doing.
There he is.
Boy, nice and dark. That's the face of beauty, isn't it? Matt, if you want to take off for a minute, go right ahead.
I'll still be listening on. I got you going on my phone, but
Long enough we don't hear you.
you don't want to. But but Scott, like I said though, brother, another good video. I'm gonna plug myself one more time before I get out of here. But
Sure.
this week or next Friday, I am going live. I'm gonna try to get these two guys on. If not, I have a backup plan. So either way, I will be going live on my Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. So, but I'll create an event like always.
Definitely, and I'll do my best to share it.
Appreciate it. So I will catch you later, brother. Jay, late to the party. Love it. So you guys have a great night.
Thank you, sir. You too.
See ya.
How you doing, Jay?
Oh, been better, bro. Been better.
Yeah, I remember our conversation the other day. So hopefully things are starting to look up, though.
Yeah, we'll know here at least within 3 or 4 days. Monday at the
Nice.
earliest.
Nice. You see Heather's message?
No.
Hmm?
No, I did not.
How many dogs do you have?
1.
One dog.
One.
Jay. Zeke's a awesome dog. I'm sorry, man. I need to jump off.
All right. I figured I'd be a smart ass and jump on at the last second.
Last couple seconds to finish up the live stream. Maybe next time you could jump on a little earlier and be part of the show.
Yeah, sure. Just had some running I had to do, so I wanted to try and get on as fast as I could, but things happen.
Yeah, it's good. It's just I can't believe how tired you get after streaming for so many hours. But I really appreciate you at least popping in.
Hey, last of the party.
No, I'm the last to the party. Well, I'm the last to leave the party. Yeah, see, it's getting jumbled up. One of these days we'll have to have you come on and just kind of do an interview like your wife did and kind of go from there.
I thought I was penciled in for August 13th.
You are. Friday the 13th.
Or do you want me to come on before that?
Possibly. But you're definitely plugged in for Friday the 13th.
Just to let people know how weird I am and then go from there.
So, with that being said, I will see you soon. I will talk to you on the messenger as well.
I hate to ask this, and it was probably brought up in the whole conversation, but what's with the green screen shirt?
It was not truly brought up in the conversation. Just my little side
I love
humor.
you got going on there, but
My what?
it looks brick to me. Yeah, brick.
Yeah, it's brick. Just the one stream after the green screen fell down, I had a green shirt on, and out of curiosity, I wanted to see if it would work, and it's worked. So,
could you consider yourself a brick house?
Or cats, and here's our logo. If
no, keep your shirt on. Keep your shirt on.
Oh, it's staying on enough.
Okay, good.
But it was just kind of one of those things where I was curious and it worked. So everyone's one, at least for a moment on the stream, I do it.
I just thought I'd ask. I didn't know if I missed it during the whole conversation or whatever.
About 2 or 3 streams ago, it was brought up. Yes, and somebody said I'm a brick house. I thought that was you, but Maybe
Not
I'm
with
wrong. That's funny.
Like 2 minutes ago, but not from like 2 chats ago.
Yeah, it was brought up. I think it was with Dale when Dale was on.
Could be. Could be.
Well, Jay, you have a good night. I hope you get to feel better. And I will.
It's not me, it's the wife, but you know.
I hope everybody. I wish everybody well.
All right, hey, we'll talk to you later.
All right, Jay. Hello, folks. Hello, goodbye. I am officially tired, wore out. 3 hours and 10 minutes into a live broad stream. I don't see how people do this for 6, 7, 10 hours and just like a telethon. It's just amazing. Our show will be every 2 weeks, starting this Saturday. So make sure you tune in for the next show. I can't imagine it'll last 3 hours, but if it does, it does. So with that, you have a wonderful night, and I wish you all a safe and happy weekend.